between Michigan and Ohio, you pick up a football when you're young. You decide then either to be a Buckeye or a Wolverine. And as your spring turns to autumn, those loyalties don't change. You're still a Buckeye or a Wolverine. You mark the years by Ohio State playing Michigan. In Ann Arbor, Tom Brady is the man of the year. 3 times this season, he's led Michigan from behind in the 4th quarter, including last week at Penn State. In Columbus, this is a season to forget. Mistakes, frustration, anger. Time is running out. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. Woody Hayes used to stand inside this Ohio State locker room in Ann Arbor and compare coming to Michigan in November with great military battles. Woody might call today Ohio State's Alamo. They're 0 for the decade at Michigan. And if they can't find a way to win this game, they're not going to go to any bowl game. Michigan, on the other hand, is ready to storm the walls. If they win today, they go to either the Orange or the Fiesta Bowls. That's a $12 million payday. It's rivalry Saturday in college football. Expect the unexpected. We start the day by sending you to John Saunders and Terry Bowden in New York.
And Brent, we'll get back out to you in the big house in just a moment. But Terry, it's our first ever College Football Achievement Awards. We'll talk about that at halftime, but we're going to whet your appetite just a little bit, starting with the first-year phenoms. How about Terrence Edwards, wide receiver at Georgia, hauled in more than 700 receiving yards this year. The junior college at Oklahoma. Little college transfer Josh Heupel already broken both of Oklahoma's school passing records, and Brooks Bollinger 7-0 since he replaced Scott Kavanaugh, and he's leading the Badgers to the Rose Bowl.
The winner, no surprise here, Virginia Tech quarterback Michael Vick, who has led the Hokies to an undefeated season so far and on line for the national championship.
And that was the play of the year. If he doesn't make that play, they lose to West Virginia. Who wins and loses today?
I think the players' confidence is too low right now at Ohio State to win this thing. Look what John Cooper has said. He said they weren't good enough to beat Penn State. Now he wonders out loud if they haven't packed it in. I'm afraid it looks like he's given up on those players, and John, that's not good.
Win today or they do not go to a bowl. Tom Brady has had a great year. 3 fourth-quarter comebacks. The first half is coming up after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Moments ago, the grand entrance for Michigan, and 20 seniors do it for the last time. It's Michigan and Ohio State. Welcome, everybody. With my partner, Gary Danielson, I'm Brent Musburger. Gary, let's get right to the Ohio State story. There were so many strange quotes coming out of that locker room last week after the loss. Has this team quit on the season?
Brent, I don't think they have. I've watched 5 game films, and I don't see a team that's quit. What I see is a team that's confused a bit. They're confused because they're not winning, and they think they're doing all the things they did in past years when they won. It's led to some frustration and plainly a lack of confidence that they're going to win football games. Now, today they get a break. They get to throw out their record because they can play Michigan and gain a lot from winning this football game. But they're going to face Michigan at their best. This is a refocused football team. Brady's their leader, and they know that they can see the finish line. They win this game, they're in the BCS.
You know, Gary, some outstanding seniors playing each other for the final time here today. Tom Brady, his 24th career start. Ian Gold, his 20th career start at Michigan. On the other side, Michael Wiley, their fine running back, and Ahmad Plummer, one of their outstanding defensive backs. The kickoff is coming up. It's Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan 8-2 on the season and a chance to go to a big bowl. Ohio State 6-5, needing a win to go to any bowl. Down we go to Jack Arute.
I'm with John Cooper, the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Coach, is this team ready for this game?
If this team isn't ready, they should hang it up. Let me say that to you. We've had a great week of practice. How can you not be ready to play the Ohio State-Michigan game?
Now, you said a couple of days ago you want to take the crowd out of this game early. How do you do that?
Well, you play good sound defense, and if you get the ball, you move it and make big plays and score. If we can score first, we'll at least quiet them down. I don't know if we'll take them out or not.
Brent, they call this a rivalry.
All right, Jack. Ohio State won the coin flip, and they will defer, so Michigan will take the ball first, and Danny Stultz is putting the ball on the tee here for the Buckeyes. And back deep, that's Walter Cross, a backup tailback, set to return it here in the big house. a comfortable November Saturday. Overcast, rained hard during the evening, but actually very pleasant. And we're underway in Ann Arbor. Broke the plane, and it'll come out. So Niall Diggs, the outstanding Ohio State linebacker, goes on defense, and we ask him, what does the D need to establish early against Michigan and Tom Brady?
I want to stop the run, basically. I really want to stop the run, especially after last year. I have a lot to look forward to from last year of holding them to 4 rushing yards. That's something that I don't think a team here has done to Michigan.
And Niall Diggs figures to get his shot at stopping that running game early. Anthony Thomas lined up. He'll carry the first carry of the game, and Diggs and his friends jump all over him at the 20-yard line. And we take a look at the Chili's starting offensive lineup. Notice that next year, Chris Zeman is the only starter lost for the Wolverines, back with an outstanding offensive line again. They will lose Marcus Knight, but David Terrell, the big play wide receiver, is back. But they lose such a key man in Tom Brady, a senior, his last game in Ann Arbor. Anthony Thomas will have a decision to make as to whether or not he comes back. Shea, an outstanding blocking fullback in his final game in Ann Arbor. Thomas again. And not much doing on the first 2 plays of the game as Collins jumped up and stopped him. And you can see the defensive line for the Buckeyes. James Cotton from Cleveland, the only senior in that front. Diggs will have to make a decision about the NFL, but Ott and Bullard both will be back. In the defensive backfield, Ahmed Plummer moves on to Sunday. Michael Doss, a true freshman playing. Gary Berry is gone. So here comes a passing down for Tom Brady. The Wolverines were not successful moving the ball on the ground. And from the shotgun look, incomplete. It's 3 and out.
Michigan opened up their game with the game plan they'd like to use, Brent. They want to run right at Ohio State. They only gained 4 yards, as Niall Diggs said a year ago. They feel they can run the ball right at the middle of the Ohio State defense.
Hayden Epstein, the all-around outstanding kicker/punter for the Wolverines, and Kenyon Rambo back deep. Fair catch is the signal on the run at the 44-yard line.
Fair catch by Rambo at the 44.
So now Ian Gold, the outstanding inside linebacker for the Wolverines, and we asked him, how do you defend the very mobile Steve Belisari at quarterback?
We have a very, fast defense, and we like to fly around and get after it. So if he wants to lead the pocket, then hey, I wish him a lot of luck getting around the corners.
That was a smile, folks, of anticipation. Wiley is the tailback. Belisari starts the motion man. Rambo. Wiley behind the right side, twists in the crease. Hobson brings him down, a gain of about 4 yards. And our Chili's starting lineup now for the Buckeyes, who lose Kurt Murphy and Ben Gilbert from an offensive line that, folks, has been disappointing overall. Steve Wisniewski moves on, but Reggie Germany and Kenyon Rambo, they return next season. Belisari only a sophomore, but they do lose 2 good ones in Wiley and fullback Matt Keller, who is in there. Second down for the Bucks. Donnie Jones is coming on Wiley, and Williams got through 2. They overloaded on the right side defensively and ambushed Wiley. Defensively, Rob Renus, a nose man and one of the best in the country. Josh Williams, who made that stop, he moves on along with Ian Gold and Donnie Jones. Hobson will be back, but James Hall, an excellent rush man, is gone. In the defensive backfield, Tommy Hendricks, his last Ohio State-Michigan game, and now Rob Renus will get down at that nose spot and cause mayhem against the Penn State offensive line. Ronald Bellamy checks in as an extra DB for Michigan. Third, passing down, good blocking, throws. Germany has got it, and Germany for the first down.
Great call there by Ohio State, and I think that's exactly what they have to do for Ohio State. They need to get Belisari out of the pocket. They're going to need to run the football. They can't have a Michigan State game and put all the pressure on their quarterback, but they have to diversify their quarterback. Already we've seen a sprint out and a throw. If he gets out of the pocket, he's dangerous. Michigan has to stunt up front. Ohio State has had trouble blocking the stunts, and the receivers tackle them. They're going to catch some, but tackle them after the catch if you're Michigan.
Kevin Hauser in at tight end for the Bucks. Wiley, after the 14-yard pass, battles for a couple of extra yards, and so far, this a very positive-looking drive for the Buckeyes.
Brent, early in this football game, when Michigan has not stunted up front, Kurt Murphy, the center for Ohio State, has handled Rob Renas, the nose tackle. That's a huge story in this game plan for Ohio State. If they don't have to put 2 or sometimes 3 guys on that man, the run game works.
Renas told us he expected a tougher battle today. Wiley looks for a crease on the left, and Hobson was able to slip through and make the stop. Number 6, who has replaced Brooks defensively for the Wolverines, has made 2 stops now in the early going.
Seems like the footing is very treacherous out there. It's going to be tough for defensive backs to cover people man on man, and when that defense starts stunting up front, it'll be hard for them to right themselves and change of direction. Offense has the advantage on a field like this.
3rd down and 6. The blitz. Dhani Jones picked up. Incomplete. Belisari misses. And let's check in on the field with Jackaroo.
Well, Gary Danielson, you're absolutely correct. The footing, especially in the center of the field, is very, very slippery. Now, don't be deceived by what you see on the screen. It may look green, but there are a lot of slick spots. Open wounds from so many games here that it's just almost like a wet dirt. But they've covered it with a green substance, so on TV, it looks like grass. But to the cleats, hey, it's like doing it in the dirt.
All right, Jack. Stultz to punt, standing at midfield for the Bucks. And it goes out of bounds. Fine punt by Stultz. He has buried the Buckeyes in, or I should say Michigan, inside the 10. We've got a timeout. The 32nd straight sellout in an Ohio State-Michigan game. And the Wolverines backed up, coming out with the A train. Anthony Thomas buries in pursuit, and Berry brings him down, but Thomas is close to that first down marker around the left side.
Michigan, Brent, caught Ohio State off guard. They charged onto the field, and they went unbalanced line over here, got an extra blocker, Shea, outside, and really got Ohio State misaligned, and that's how they picked up that first down play. You see, they got one less guy out there. Michigan goes right around the corner. Very good change of possession call. You run out there and snap it real quick.
First down, Michigan. Brady, late blitz, picked up. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Let's take a look at the Dell game solutions for Michigan when they have the football. The misdirection pass game is going to be an unfolding story. The linebackers for Ohio State had a tough time against Illinois handling that, and you can't run away from Niall Dix. Go right at him. He's too good when you try to run away from him too fast. Ohio State's defense, find a man, know your assignment, and get some pressure on Brady with the blitz, and they need to move up front. Michigan's offensive line will handle them with no movement.
So Tom Brady, his 23rd consecutive start under center. Thomas, the workhorse, carries it 78% of the time in the running plays.
Look at Anthony Thomas. You take a look at what he does well. The more you watch him, you say he's not fast, but I think he's deceptively smooth, and people misjudge his speed. He's an excellent blocker when he's in the backfield on passes. And Brent, you said it, he carries the ball 78% of the time. That means he's durable. I mean, he's the whole rush offense for this team.
And he certainly is that, huh? Passing down, coming up now for Brady. Buckeyes are coming. Picked up, got one-on-one Terrell, and he overthrew him. Battled with Plummer in a duel here on the near side. An excellent matchup, and Plummer did not give him much daylight.
Matt Plummer and Nate Clemens, the two corners, will have to do that type of a job because Fred Puggage will blitz against Michigan, and that means those corners will have to be man-to-man coverage against the two game breakers for Michigan, the wide receivers.
So another 3 and out. Epstein under pressure, and Rambo going to let this one roll dead close to midfield. So Steve Belisari will come back again. The Buckeyes will be working with only half a field. Timeout in Ann Arbor.
Back in New York, I'm John Saunders with this Burger King update. Temple beat Virginia Tech last year and took a 7-0 lead from Michael Vick. About a minute later, he was back to pass, sees nothing, and takes off. The over pursuit by Temple, and he runs it 53 yards for a touchdown. And Virginia Tech strikes back, tying it at 7-7 just a few minutes into the game. Brent.
All right, John, and certainly we agree with what you and Terry said about Michael Vick being one of the newcomers of the year, and that was the difference in this season when he took off and made that big run against West Virginia to give the field goal kicker a chance. First down at 10 now. Excellent field position again for the Buckeyes. Wisniewski stems over to the right side of the line, and Rambo comes in motion through the formation. Play fake on the roll. And Belisari, nifty on his feet, eludes Hall and makes his way for a first down. A sensational run by Steve Belisari.
Brent, during that commercial, we were saying Belisari needs to do what Vick does, and that's what it looks like Ohio State is going to do. Against Penn State, they had him throwing from the pocket. Remember, Penn State had 8 sacks from that position. Today, you can see the game plan. Get him out of the pocket, throw on the run, make him a moving target. Half roll, turn back, throw the football. That's what they should do with an athletic quarterback.
Second down and 1. First down, Buckeyes. Let's take a look at the niftiness of Belisari here, Gary, as he had to elude 2 tacklers.
You know, it always seems like the great athletes don't slip. They keep their body under control, and right now Steve Belisari, and that's what Michigan feared, him getting out of the pocket when nothing was there.
Yeah, Williams and Hall both fanning on the tackle, and the Buckeyes with a first down just outside the 35-yard line. Renas with his hands full against the middle of this offensive line this week. Belisari in trouble. Hobson in again. Belisari is away before Dhani Jones makes the stop. An ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Chili's, a proud sponsor of ABC College Football. DuPont, the miracles of science. And the Principal Financial Group. For all your financial goals, plan ahead, get ahead.
Lloyd Carr, Brent, didn't want to hear anything about this Ohio State team quitting, did he? When we were talking to him yesterday, he knew that Michigan would get the best that Ohio State has played all year.
Second down and 7. Keller and Wiley. Wiley slips through the middle, and a 2-yard run for tough yardage. Jackaroo.
You know, Brent, it's really unusual for a competitor to give advice to an opponent, but that's exactly what Tom Brady did to Belisari this week. They asked him about the problems with the Ohio State quarterback. He's had the ups and downs. Brady offered, look, just hold on. He said, when the fans boo, hold on. When the media attacks you, hold on. When the coaches rip you for poor play, hold on. Brady said, don't believe in what others say. Always believe in yourself.
And I think that Belisari does do that. The young man was on special teams a year ago. Hauser, an H-back look, and they'll run Wiley behind the power, and they've got the corner. Wiley breaks free, gets past June, and he is down inside the 10-yard line at the 6, and the Buckeyes with a first and goal.
When you want to run the ball wide, your tight end has to do a good job on the corner. Watch Steve Wisniewski right here hook the outside linebacker. That's what set up his play. Right there, you see the tight end. He just stops him right there. Look at that opening for Michael Wiley to run the ball in there. You want to run the ball wide? Tight end block somebody.
Michael Wiley with 26 more yards. He only needs 141 to wind up with back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons. and already has 6 carries for 31 yards. He is averaging 5 yards a pop. His problem has not been gaining yards. It has been critical fumbles. First down and goal for the Bucks. Wiley stuffed. Hendricks comes up from his safety spot and takes him down.
See, this is the spot of the field now. When you have an athletic quarterback, you've got to get him involved in the run game. Steve Belisari needs to get out of the pocket. It's too tough to run right up the gut of this Michigan defense. Their safeties are right at the line of scrimmage. Tommy Hendricks, just like an extra linebacker. You have to get your quarterback involved in the game plan.
And let's see if they do that with Belisari right now. Throw, caught, but touchdown, Ohio State, on a great second effort by Kevin Hauser, who broke free from Cato June, but the penalty flag down. Our referee, David Whitvote, and his crew, the umpire, Percy Munn.
Well, this would be a devastating penalty if it's on Ohio State. The only thing I can think of is that they've
celebrated excessively. Gosh. What a shame. What a pity that they liked that touchdown.
Yeah,
that they went ahead of Michigan and Ann Arbor.
Fake the pitch. Here's Hauser right here. He's going to come out into the short flat. Get your quarterback involved. There's the blitz. Good throw, and he beats a tackle on the play right there by Cato June, and Kevin Hauser gets it into the end zone. I didn't see anything that bad. You, Brent?
No.
I mean, it's just, I really hate to have that penalty penalize a whole football team. I just don't. I think that's an excessive penalty, to tell you the truth. 5 yards seems to be enough.
I think it's a stupid penalty. You get a big underdog comes in, puts a touchdown on. They've been put down all week. They come up with a score. Of course they're going to be happy. They're in Ann Arbor. They're in the big house. They haven't won here in the 90s. And now Stultz. And it's moot. Extra point is good. It's 7-0. So the Buckeyes strike first.
I think it was LaCharles Bentley that got the call. Wiley set it up with that long sweep to the outside, and then Kevin Hauser stuck it in the end zone.
Timeout. Kevin Hauser from Westlake.
Westlake, Ohio. Pitcher on my son's baseball team when I used to live in Ohio, played with the Browns. Little Kevin's growing up to be Big Kevin, Brent. Great effort to get in the end zone.
Sure was. Stultz. Cross from the 4-yard line. Looks for that crease on a cutback. Down at the 27. Let's take a look at Kevin, because he was stopped apparently by Cato June, but he just kept right on driving. Now June is 213 pounds, and watch Hauser, 250, rip away and dive for the first touchdown.
Great family, the Hausers. His father played for Ohio State. Bobby Hauser, his brother, was there, and now Kevin, the third to play for Ohio State.
Michigan has not done anything offensively, and the Buckeyes, winning the battle of field position, take advantage of it to open up a 7-0 lead. Now it's up to Thomas, and he runs into his own blocker that time. Hutchinson collides with Thomas in the backfield. Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ohio State, a 12-point underdog in a huge rivalry game, needing a win just to qualify for any bowl game. Strikes first and leads it 7-0, and it has been a stifling defense for the Buckeyes so far in this game that helped set up their touchdown as the Buckeyes moved in from midfield. Second down and long for Brady and the Michigan passing attack. Flair, Shea, fullback, run down at the 23-yard line by Cortland Bullard. Well, Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, ABC Sports kicks off Thanksgiving weekend with a college football doubleheader. Major Applewhite and the Texas Longhorns will take on longtime in-state rival Texas A&M. Then it'll be Nebraska looking to keep their national championship hopes alive as they take on the Colorado Buffaloes. Third down and 14. Brady again in trouble. Sacked for the first time by Niall Diggs. 32 rolls in.
The first down run defense for Ohio State has gotten Michigan's game plan kind of out of kilter. They want to run play action passes, but when you have second and long and third and long, then you're going to face this Buckeye blitz.
Now an underdog like Ohio State, will they come after Epstein? They get a short field and a penalty flag flies. Rambo picks it off. Goes in reverse.
John Cooper's begging for a 5-yard penalty right here, running into the kicker instead of roughing. Yeah, there it is. Oh, boy.
It's up one. There's that personal foul.
There it is. See.
A preliminary indication.
The kind of mistake you really can't make in a situation like this.
See, this is the difference from winning 9 or 10 games a year and having a struggling season. That type of long distance, and I'm not really quite sure if I think that's roughing. This is what I kind of call running into the kicker. Actually, a Michigan player hit him first. Hendricks. That's a tough call for Ohio State.
I thought that was a very tough call when you looked at that replay again. When Hendricks gets blown back in there.
Absolutely. See, when it's fourth and real long, you feel to take a free run and go for the block. Figuring if you get a 5-yard penalty, it's no big deal.
And John is telling Rambo, let's not be going in reverse on that punt either, young man. Let's see what Michigan does with its break. Brady on a nice play fake. Drops it off to Sean Thompson. And Thompson out of bounds at the 37. Michael Doss, the defender.
The misdirection pass play. If you have a defense that is geared, you know Fred Puckage has got into his defense's ear all week. We have to stop the run if we have any chance. So you use the misdirection pass play to take them out of kilter. Make them lose a little focus in their game plan. Then you can come back later and run the ball at them.
9-yard gain, their best first down play of the game. Second down and 1, Wolverines. And Thomas is stuffed and continues to battle toward that first down marker. Tomorrow on ABC, the Grand Prix of figure skating continues. The world champion Alexei Yagudin and world silver medalist Michelle Kwan are among some of the world's elite. It's the second event of the Grand Prix of figure skating. The road to the gold continues. Skate Canada tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on ABC. Second effort, first down again. And now the Wolverines, after that personal foul, move to their own 41-yard line. Thomas, middle, and a huge hole opened up.
Steve Hutchinson that time pulled and got a great block to open that hole. A little bit of an inside counter, not the wide counter play that Michigan likes to run, but Steve Hutchinson, his help has made this Michigan team a very, very dangerous offense. He's their best pulling guard, and he's a pretty physical looking guy, isn't he, Brent?
Yeah, he really is. And, you alluded to the fact of how Anthony Thomas has been the offensive load. You can see that the second leading rusher on this Michigan team is a wideout, David Terrell. Second down, and here he comes again. Thomas cuts it back for first down. Driven out of bounds, and now Thomas is starting to put the A train into a higher gear.
Illinois hurt this Ohio State team a week ago by drifting their fullback and backs out into the flat. I see Aaron Shea, who I think is one of the most valuable players on this Michigan team, getting involved in this game plan as they cross midfield and getting them out there and catch some passes against some very aggressive linebackers.
Brady, Thomas, and he is stopped by Doss at the 40-yard line, picking up another 5 yards on first down. So ever since the penalty, things have changed for the Michigan offense. They are making the most of the break so far.
And they finally got the field position now to use their whole game plan, feel safe about throwing on first down, and realizing now that this Ohio State defense has to question, feel a little bit bad. That's one thing about a team that's lost a lot of games. When things are going well, they're okay. Things start to turn, they begin to lose focus.
Chapeau at the H-back spot. Thomas slides through inside the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short. Middle linebacker Jason Ott with the stop for the Buckeyes.
Jason Ott, of course, is substituting for the big cat, Andy Katzenmoyer, and we talked about it before. Everybody thought Katzenmoyer had such a bad year a year ago for Ohio State. Remember, though, this defense for the year was only giving up 70 yards a game rushing the ball. This year, they're giving up 165. I think losing him was a big story.
3rd down and 3. Michigan elects to put it up. Dropped, and now it is 4th down. Johnson had a gimme in his hands and dropped a sure first down for the Wolverines. It's a drive killer.
I think Michigan needs to punt this football. Ohio State's offense has turned the ball over. They're the worst turnover ratio in the Big Ten. Michigan still keeps, it looks like they're going to try for a field goal.
Now be careful now, because they can pooch punt out of this too. On a direct snap to Epstein, they worked on this play. And if the Buckeyes, and they do not have anybody back.
No, they're going to play it safe. They're going to stop and keep Michigan
if he
from taking
kicks
a first down.
Tom Brady is the holder. It would be a 55-yarder.
Michigan only has 10 guys on the field.
This is it, the direct snap, the play they worked on. And there's a penalty flag because of it. The ball rolling out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. The linesman, however.
Yeah, that'll be on Michigan.
And this is going to make Coach Carr furious. They had one of the longest special teams practices I've watched all year, and there's no excuse for the 11th man not being on the field.
You know, I think Ohio State will decline
formation,
it, though.
Only 6 on the line of scrimmage, offense. The penalty is declined. First down.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they do, Gary.
Ohio State figures that's not bad, the 17-yard line. Here's the mat right here that Michigan used in special teams. There's 10 circles and then the M for the 11th guy. I guess somebody miscounted.
The Buckeyes under Belisari with a 7-point lead here in the first quarter. Here's Michael Wiley, forced back inside by Hendricks, who bracketed him beautifully that time, and they did not give him the corner as we come to the end of the first quarter. But it was Michael Wiley, the senior running back from Spring Valley, California, who set up the game's only touchdown. Breaking around the right side, no one was there, and then it was Belisari to tight end Kevin Hauser. Buckeyes lead it. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The 69 Michigan team. Bo Schembechler upsets Woody Hayes in one of the memorable Michigan-Ohio State games. Woody looked at him and said, "That's the greatest job of coaching you have ever done at a banquet, because you beat my best team." 2nd down for Ohio State. Bad trouble. Slips a tackle. Now slips another one. And the Magic Man dances free again for the Buckeyes. Steve Belisari is like a greased pig in the early going.
Well, his arm hasn't been magical, but so far his feet. And I really thought this could be a difference for the Ohio State team. Ian Gold, coming on the blitz, had a free shot at him. But remember, as you said, Steve Belisari a year ago played special teams. In fact, he had 5 tackles on special teams a year ago against the Wolverines, and it looks like they might not get 5 tackles on him today.
Virginia Tech leading Temple for the first time today. So it is now 3rd down and 1. Keller and Wiley. It'll be Wiley hit in the backfield and then stuffed in the early going. It was Josh Williams who penetrated and got him first and blew the play up.
Such an important play for Ohio State, and they were confused and late getting out of the huddle. They went unbalanced line. You could see Steve Belisari trying to get guys to move around. You know, 3rd and 1, you got to have a play ready to go. Get out of the huddle with time to snap the ball. That cost them a first down.
Stokes back to punt. Diallo Johnson, the return man. Diallo would like to make up for that dropped pass a short time ago.
He wants to throw like last week.
They violated the halo, and that is a penalty. No question that they came in on a 44-yard punt. Percy King in too close.
See,
remember, there are 2 yards in the college game.
See, I'd give him 15 on that one. When you get up and celebrate that one, that's one where the discretion of the officials could give him a 15-yard penalty. This isn't a guy just jumping out of the way in the halo. This is a guy that took a shot at a punt returner who's very vulnerable. That's why they have the rule. It's a very dangerous situation.
There is no penalty. Man is pushed into the runner. First down.
I need a lifeline.
Oh, the phone. I can't hear you well.
Regis, I need a lifeline.
I can't hear you, my friend.
There he comes. Right here, blocked from behind is what they're calling the play. He's definitely within 2 yards.
And on that note, we'll take a break. It's Ohio State and Michigan, folks. Michigan back at the line with the play already called. First down and trailing by 7. Play fake on first down, thrown outside to Shea. He's run down by Berry. Regular speed on that moment of controversy. You be the referee. Listen. And the flag was picked up.
I've seen it 3 times, and I still don't get it. He was either pushed from behind, it's a penalty, or he was inside the halo, and it's a penalty. I don't see how it could be no play. And I'm not getting the lifeline. I can see that right now.
Second down and 4. Here's Anthony slashing, and again that Buckeye defense, which has played excellently so far. Nate Clemens knifing across, and you can see 3 possessions and 3 punts already for the Wolverines, and the average per play. But do remember, folks, that this offense did start slowly against Penn State last week. And then they came on like gangbusters, especially in the 4th quarter when they were down 10 points. However, you have to be impressed with Pugich's defense here in the early going. They have come to play. It's Michigan, Ohio State. The Buckeyes know the stakes. They must win to have a bowl game. Brady, Terrell, his first reception, first down, Michigan. Well, our Aflac trivia question, and you know, let's give Illinois an awful lot of credit. Let's mention them. And prior to the Illini this year, which was the last Big Ten team to win in Ann Arbor against the Wolverines and Columbus against the Buckeyes in the same season? Folks, one hint, you got to go way back.
Didn't happen at Purdue, I'll tell you that.
First down and 10. Brady, wide open is the A train. 4 yards. Virginia Tech and Temple. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Brian, we told you it was tied early, but now Virginia Tech's defense taking over. Devin Scott intercepted by Larry Austin, and he'll carry this one 30 yards for the touchdown. The 7th defensive touchdown by the Hokies this year. They lead it right now 17-7. And Miami's Jared Payton gets his first college touchdown 22 years to the day since Dad Walter set the single-game record in the NFL at 275.
What a nice story, John. Wearing his dad's number down in Miami, 34. Here's number 32 for a first down. Pretty good running back right there, and Anthony Thomas. What's your feeling about the A train? How would you evaluate him, Gary?
You know, Brent, the more you watch him, the more you like what he does, the little things he does in the football game. doesn't get knocked backwards, doesn't put the ball on the ground, picks up the blitzes. He's one of those guys that every quarterback would love to have in his backfield because you can trust when you give him the ball or he's in protection, he's going to do his job.
11 carries, 31 yards for the 220-pound junior out of Louisiana. He was an outstanding high school basketball player down there. First down and 10. Wolverines down a touchdown, but they're on the Buckeye 46-yard line. Here comes Thomas. Diggs hit him first. Picked up maybe half a yard. Jackaroo.
You know, Brent, when Anthony Thomas came to Michigan for his recruiting visit, it snowed. The kid had never seen snow before because he's from the New Orleans area. When he went home, his family and friends said, "Why do you want to go up in the snow?" And he told me, he said, "I use that as motivation." He said, "I love challenges." But he also points out that when it gets cold, he goes indoors. "I only come out for classes and for practices."
You know, Jack, he's also lost that thick Louisiana accent. Almost sounds like a Midwesterner. Almost. Brady is back. Going to set the screen beautifully. Oh, what a running room for Thomas. Oh, they're all out in front of him and inside the 15-yard line.
Niall Diggs saved the touchdown on that play. He was blocked, and he had 4 blockers. Anthony Thomas did. The screen pass has been so good to Michigan. Coming out of the end zone right here, and you can see Brady invites the blitz, makes the throw, and look at the convoy that Anthony Thomas has right here. I thought he was going to go all the way on that play, but Niall Diggs does a nice job of coming from behind and making the play.
Walter Cross now gives him a break after the 32-yard gain on the screen pass. Brady to Thomas. Brady. Terrell, 10-yard line, dances, and then slips at the 6-yard line. Upset with that slip at the 6 as he was making another cut.
Wonderful job by Tom Brady that time, actually going to his second receiver. Tom Brady comes back. He wants to throw the ball over the middle. Looking. Now watch, he refocuses to the right, gets his feet ready, and throws the ball out to Terrell. Watch, wanted to go right here. That's where the ball was going to go. Wasn't there. Here's Terrell out to the outside. That's his dump-off guy, and throws a good strike to the outside.
And he now has completed 400 passes here at Michigan. Anthony Thomas back in the game. Powers to the 3-yard line, and Gary Berry with the stop. So when you take a look at what Brady has accomplished in his brief career as a starter, this is 23rd consecutive start. Now with 400 completions. And he's about 105 yards shy of 5,000 for his career. The senior from San Mateo, California. The Montreal Expos drafted him as a catcher, and Michigan so happy that he decided to play college football. With a first and goal, Brady brings the Wolverines to the line. And Thomas denied the end zone. That was Ahmed Plummer, number 19, who stepped into that hole and brought leverage to the tackle.
Ohio State had a great 4-down goal line stand against Illinois last week. Then couldn't pick up a first down and ended up giving up points right before halftime. They play real good, stout defense. Play action pass. Second down is when you like to do it. Maybe Shea out in the flat.
It's Thomas for the end zone. Got it. Touchdown. Michigan's an extra point away now from tying Ohio State in the first half. It was a screen pass against Puggage's defense, called upstairs by Carr's coaching staff, that meant the difference in that drive. It has been the play call of the game.
I think there's really been 2 plays. The roughing the punter that changed field position in this game, and the screen pass.
Tied at 7. Epstein for the extra point. It was so beautifully set up by Brady. And then Thomas across the goal line. We're deadlocked at 7. Timeout. Belisari, the youngster on the left. Brady the senior on the right. And when you're talking about underrated players in college football this year, it's Brady of Michigan.
You know, both guys, and I agree with you, he and Major Applewhite, probably the two most underrated players in college football. Both of the quarterbacks are doing what they need to do. You don't see Belisari's running yards in those stats. Tom Brady started off slow, had a drop pass, but Steve Belisari is helping his team with his feet. He's rushed for 19 yards.
Epstein, outstanding as a kickoff man. High and in the end zone and a knee. No chance for a return, no chance for an injury. Comes out on the 20-yard line. So it's Ohio State and Michigan. Deadlocked at 7. Belisari's touchdown pass to Hauser, who pulled away from a safety. And then in the second quarter, the A-Train. Deadlocked at 7 apiece here before a crowd in excess of 100,000 on an overcast but very comfortable Saturday in November. They've had some fierce weather in this rivalry through the years, but today very nice, except for the rain that the field took. And obviously that would be the biggest negative, the fact that we've got some slippery conditions that Jack Arute and Gary Danielson have told you about. The fullback Martin gets a quick handoff and a burst that surprised the Michigan defense. They were looking for the tailback, and instead Martin's first play of the game, and he bolts on a quick handoff, 21 yards for the Buckeyes.
Another great call by Mike Jacobs, kind of expanding the Buckeye offense against this Michigan defense today. Mike Jacobs on the left right there. Tim Salem, the quarterback coach, against the wall. Taking a lot of heat out in Columbus, but today they got a good game plan going.
Now Belisari on a roll. Got an open man, Reggie Germany, and he steps out of bounds short of the first down.
Brent, remember when we did the Penn State-Ohio State game, and I kept saying, this is what they need to do with Belisari. Don't run Joe Germain's offense for this guy. He's not capable of running, at least not now. Get him out of the pocket, make him a weapon like a Michael Vick.
Second down, 2 yards.
They should have just called me. I have all the answers, right?
Second down and 2. The handoff to Wiley, battling toward midfield. It'll be third down and short. So our Aflac trivia question. You know, we mentioned Illinois going into Ann Arbor and Columbus and winning. When was the last team to do it? Well, here it is. You got to go way back to 1951. There they are, the Michigan State Spartans, coached by Biggie Munn. Tom Usick. Some of you great college football fans here in Michigan remember that name. He was the quarterback. That's the last team to do it until Illinois, the last Big Ten team to do it in the same season. And when you think about the Illini, you're left wondering who is the coach of the year in the Big Ten. Yeah. Certainly Ron Turner is a candidate, but can you look past Glenn Mason and the job that he has done at Minnesota this year? This is Eric Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, coming off the field.
Two great jobs, and of course Barry Alvarez wins back-to-back Big Ten championships, going to go to the Rose Bowl and has a chance to be the first team in Big Ten history to win back-to-back Rose Bowls, Wisconsin.
Third down and 1. Wells is the tailback, Jonathan Wells. The pitch to Wells. Martin's the lead block. He gets Whitley. Wells breaks free. Sideline. He's out of bounds. He is out of bounds. But long after he picked up a first down for Ohio State. The young man they've been waiting for all season, and he finally showed some explosiveness in a big run against Illinois when they were way behind last week. This is what they've been waiting for.
Same play that Wiley took, a little bit different with Wells. He likes to get outside and turn it up, a bigger back, good blocking up front, and Wells was kind of the super ego of this football team early in the year. Had a great game against the University of Miami, but hurt his ankle and seemed to have changed the team.
Wiley getting a big break. Belisari on first down. Gets time down the sideline. Incomplete. Cato June was the defender on that play as Jonathan Wells worked deep. An ABC Sports presentation of Michigan, Ohio State, brought to you by Chrysler, giving you back the romance of driving. Burger King, have it your way. Ameritrade, believe in yourself. And Nortel Networks, we're building the new high-performance internet.
Not a bad chance. Go for the home run right there. Cato June did a nice job. That was a wheel route. The back goes in the flat, kind of baits the defender to come up, and then goes long.
Second down and 10, and Belisari and a keeper all the way. And Michigan certainly not fooled on that play. They had it cut off every which way, and the stop made by Josh Williams.
Josh Williams had a strong football game so far, but you know who's been quiet a little bit is Rob Reines up front. You have to wonder, Kurt Murphy handling him up front. That's a matchup that Michigan thought was in their favor, and so far seems like Ohio State is at least holding their own there.
Michael Wiley and Finesse Probert on the field. Probert will go off to the left. Wiley, as you know, is also an excellent receiver. This is third down and 13. Belisari. Wiley, though, blocks. High. Probert's got it. First down, Buckeyes. Just short of the 25-yard line. It was not a perfectly thrown ball, but Probert making a strong catch and a gain of 18 for John Cooper.
Ronald Bellamy that time, the young corner, freshman corner, slipped on the play. But you know, we came into this game with Belisari only completing 45% of his passes. Sometimes that's because of the play calls, too many deep balls. You talk to the coaches at Ohio State, John Cooper said we need to throw more short passes to give our quarterback a chance.
Now Jamar Martin in a hole to the 10. And the bruising fullback with his second powerful run, 245-pound sophomore from Canton, Ohio, gives the Buckeyes another scoring opportunity on a run of 14 yards this time.
Another run right up the gut. You have to assume that that offensive line is handling the nose tackle for Michigan right now, and that has to make the play caller feel great.
They are also running a little roughshod on Ian Gold, who is coming off a great game against Penn State. Belisari rolls high, incomplete. If he'd have brought it down, Matt Keller would have had a reception. Gold was the defender working in that area, but if Belisari has any problem, he just is not pinpoint accurate on his throws, either on the roll or dropping back. You folks back in Columbus who've watched him this year knows that's the one criticism you would have on Belisari.
Right, he's not even butter knife accurate yet early in his career, let alone pinpoint. Comes out, got a little pressure in his face this time. I think it was James Hall, number 56, that caused that ball to go high.
Straight ahead. So this will bring up a third down here, and tomorrow it's a rematch of the 1996 MLS inaugural championship game. Eddie Pope and DC United look to win their third championship in 4 years. They take on the LA Galaxy, the MLS Cup 99, tomorrow live at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific on ABC Sports. Wisniewski and Sanders are the tight ends. They will throw to the tight end down here. I'm speaking now of Ohio State. They like to go to tight ends. High and overthrew Rambo, and a penalty flag comes flying. Somewhat surprising to me. I certainly didn't think the ball was catchable. I thought it was too high, but let's get this sorted out. Whitley is the defensive back.
Well, Rambo has a pretty good vertical leap, and he might have had a chance to catch that ball before it went out of bounds. But I thought it was a good call because it was a safe call. It was either incomplete kick, a field goal, or a possible catch or interference. So we'll see if it's sorted out. If it was uncatchable, you kick a field goal. If not, you get a chance to put the ball close to the goal line.
There's the call.
Man-to-man coverage to the outside. Ball's in the air. Let's see if it was catchable. There's the push. Yeah, that was catchable. Landed right on the line. Rambo could have caught up, caught that ball, and come down maybe with his feet, dragging the line. Good call.
You sure that was catchable?
Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's run that one again. Come on. I got to win one of these. Just stop it right when it hits the line right here. Let's go. I'm going to stop it right when it hits the line. Right. A little farther, a little farther. Right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's
Yep, you're right. I'll give you that one.
All right. 1-1.
Here's Belisari. Sneaking straight ahead. Now they winding up with a 1st and goal, decided to put Belisari right behind the middle of that offensive line because, as Gary has pointed out, center Kurt Murphy And guards Ben Gilbert and LaCharles Bentley seem to be doing a pretty good job down in that middle. Second down, and why not bring it again? Why not come right back with Belisari?
I think it's a good call. And another thing is it keeps the clock running. You don't want to give Michigan and Tom Brady a 2-minute drive. Ohio State needs 7 points and run the clock.
This is the 12th play in the drive. They've also got the big horse, Martin. He's going to throw. Got it. Touchdown. Martin slips out of the backfield. Belisari's second touchdown pass of the game.
Shot at James Whitley, but I really think it was Victor Hobson, number 6, the linebacker, that kind of just got his nose a little too dirty on the play. I think Hobson's right here, kind of gets up inside and does not see the fullback. There he is, right there. End man line of scrimmage. You can see he had the fullback coming out, didn't do his assignment, touchdown.
Stoltz to give the Buckeyes their second 7-point lead of this game. And this a very impressive drive. This was not a short field. The Buckeyes this time marched 80 yards in 12 plays. Was there a difference? You bet there was. Jamar Martin, 6'1", 245 pounds, brought it down the field and then scored the touchdown on this reception. Buckeyes lead it again. Timeout. Gary Danielson, your first Michigan-Ohio State game, living up to expectations, my friend?
I'm distracted here. What is this? Florida resident, Michigan resident. What's this called right here? Yeah, it was a great football game. Both teams playing well. I think Ohio State has shocked Michigan with their ability to run the ball inside.
A penalty against Ohio State. Stoltz kicks it out of bounds, so there's a mistake on the kickoff.
I'm just feeling good. I'm tied with Mr. Musburger 1-1 in calls down there.
Well, Gary, well, we've got a moment here. Let's remind everybody, we got some pretty good games coming up next here. Penn State looks to keep their BCS hopes alive. They take on number 14 Michigan State, and out west, rivals UCLA and USC go head-to-head. Now, the Bowl Championship Series is also online at ESPN.com. That's a part of the Go Network. Let me tell you about that UCLA-USC game, because I know an awful lot of folks are interested in what Stanford does against Cal. And John Saunders will have updates, and he certainly will try to bring them to you as many times as he can when you're watching the UCLA-USC game out on the West Coast later this afternoon. First down and 10 now coming up for Brady and the Wolverines, who find themselves down again.
It's first and 9.5. The rest of the game. That's why they're getting so many first downs. A chain is caught. 9 1/2.
There you go. Brady.
Go.
Fires Terrell, incomplete. But you know, Tom Brady didn't take over as the quarterback here until the Indiana game, and he has handled the situation, the competition so well. Remember, he was the starter a year ago, and we complimented Tom on what he did. Here's what he told us.
Well, you know, I think everyone involved in the situation, deserves a lot of credit, because I think, like you said, everyone handled it well, and it makes it easy for me to know that there's a lot of people supporting me, including Coach Carr and even, my competition. So, it's been a good situation for everyone.
His competition, Drew Henson, will take over next year. Right now, Anthony Thomas for 5 yards. But let's think for a moment about what Carr did. And let's think back to last year about what John Cooper didn't do. And this is not a big second guess of John. But if he had it to do all over again, wouldn't he have given Steve Belisari a little more practice time at quarterback? Now think about Michigan for Lloyd Carr. Drew Henson's ready, folks. He'll step in and be the starter next year. And the year after that, he's already had game experience. And right now, Brady will finish it up.
Belisari threw 5 passes last year.
Third down. Shea, the fullback, and Brady straight back. Diggs coming and got him. Oh, what an effort that was.
Brady back to pass.
And look at John get into Bullard's face. I mean, John is an active sideline coach. That's about the 3rd player that I have seen him get after, and you don't have to read lips to know. You think, use your head, man. Let's go.
Although Cortland Bullitt did a nice job of taking away that play, Brady wanted to go to the flat to Shea, and it was Bullard who forced Brady to take the ball down and got the sack.
Please reset the clock. 2, 4, 6.
So the clock is going to be reset. We've got a timeout called by Ohio State, so we'll take a break. Ohio State not satisfied with a 7-point lead. They've got 2:46. That's the time that was put back on the clock. They have 2 timeouts. Epstein back to punt.
Remember, Rambo had a huge turnover late in the first half last week.
Epstein hangs a beauty. Rambo from the 20. Beats the first man and out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So, Gary, a reminder that coming up on Valvoline Halftime 99, John Saunders and Terry Bowden with scores and highlights, plus John and Terry's 1999 College Football Achievement Awards.
I'm interested in that. Thanks for notifying me.
Kind of interesting.
It's kind of interesting. I always like to hear John and Terry at halftime. I think Ohio State should be very careful here. Very conservative calls, at least until they get the ball to midfield. Cannot afford a turnover.
Wiley, Keller out of the back. And here comes Keller. So the fullback is making the difference for the Buckeyes. There's a first down run. And John Saunders, how about the Tennessee Volunteers, my friend?
Well, Brent, they're having their own achievement awards, and it goes to Travis Henry. 61 yards on this touchdown run. Henry also had one of 40 yards, 125 yards, and a couple of touchdowns on the day. For more, log on to abcsports.com, part of ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Brent.
All right, John, and here it is a first down, and the Buckeyes have discovered the fullback here against this Michigan defense. Toss, Wiley, behind Keller, Hendricks, and a penalty flag.
I think got a face mask on that, don't we? I think an inadvertent face mask right there. Michael Wiley has been in this football game. Had the long run early. He's been playing physical football and really charged up. Oh, we got to hold him. Brent, the previous play, watch Michael Wiley get the block right here at the end man on the line of scrimmage, Josh Williams, number 91. Tailback against a defensive end. Watch this. Boom, right off the feet that time. People, players, teammates will notice that when your tailback is fired up like that.
Gary,
I'm fired up.
I can tell. The Michigan defense on the rushing yards allowed, 100 yards a game, versus Penn State held them to 7 yards. And look at what Ohio State has done against Coach Herman's defense here today. That is a huge difference in this game, and it certainly has moved Ohio State to the lead.
What did I say? Run or lose. And Ohio State has come into this game saying we have to run a little bit, and that way our quarterback can get back in the ball game.
Buckeyes want to be careful here right now. Michigan with all 3 timeouts. Just over 2 minutes left here in the first half. And a first and 22. Remember, a holding penalty is marked off for the spot of the foul. So thus it is 22 yards to go.
Ohio State doesn't have to snap it. There's still 12 seconds left on the clock.
Belisari hands Wiley, bolts to the 29-yard line, but they're still about 5 yards shy of the original line of scrimmage.
See, the Buckeyes got a little bit confused. After the penalty, the clock starts again. So they could have had an extra 12 seconds taken off. Instead of 1:38, it could be 1:26 right now left. Michigan, of course, is going to burn their timeouts and try to force a punt. Let's see if those 12 seconds come back to haunt them.
Let's check in with Jack Arute. Jack?
Brent, as you know, the rivalry between Ohio State and Michigan has so many great games. We want to take you back to 1940 when Michigan Wolverines, led by Tom Harmon, went into Columbus, Ohio. And look at this. Harmon scored 38 of the 40 points that day by himself. He ran for TDs. He threw for TDs. He kicked a couple of field goals. It was so great. You know what the Ohio State Buckeye fans did? They gave Tom Harmon a standing ovation at the end of the game.
Jack, were you there that day, my friend?
I'm not going to tell you.
Second down and 16 is the situation being faced by the Buckeyes, who wanted the ball back, and then the holding penalty put them in a hole, and so Michigan said, let's see if we can get a chance to do some business here. Remember, in Hayden Epstein, they got a fellow with a real long leg, and they'd love to whittle 3 off that 7-point lead.
Might be a time to do some kind of bootleg and try to pick up some yards with a quarterback on a misdirection play.
Instead, it'll be Wiley, hole left side, and here comes Michael. But he still is short of the first down. Reaches the 39-yard line with James Whitley making the stop defensively. And it'll be about 3rd and 6 with Michigan using another timeout. That will leave them now with 1 as they come over. But they need to stop this 3rd down play right here. We got a moment. Let's remind you what we got coming up next here on college football. Penn State, Michigan State. Great one up at East Lansing. Then UCLA, USC out in Los Angeles. A battle for pride. Michigan State hoping to wind up with a big-time bowl game, and if they beat Penn State, they could wind up, well, they could go to the Citrus Bowl, be with us down in Orlando. There's talk about that.
If they win and Michigan loses, can Michigan State not be in a BCS game? Want the Fiesta or the Orange look at Michigan State, 2nd place team in the Big Ten Conference? I think so.
I would think so. Sure.
Thanks to all of you for your hard.
Remember, Ohio State. Now, I want to talk about bowl eligibility because, of course, there's money and it'd be a small-time bowl. But, folks, the key thing that coaches will tell you about going to a bowl game is it gives you a month of practice. And if you think back on this Buckeye season, how tough it has been and how many mistakes they have made, as much as any team in the Big Ten, John Cooper badly needs that month to start preparing for next year as well as to get ready for a bowl game. It is very, very important. This a big-time play. 3rd down and 6 for the Bucks. Fullback. They block Gold, but he fights off the block. And he helps out Todd Howard, the corner. So it was Gold and Howard who forced the punt here at the 1:30 mark.
I'm very surprised. Michigan is going to save their last timeout. Is that right? They got one more timeout left? They're going to let the clock run down, or did he go out of bounds? Maybe that's what Michigan is waiting for, to see if he got out of bounds or not before they take their last timeout.
So the Buckeyes go to the fullback well one time too often here in the first half. And this time, Michigan is ready, and we check in with Jackaroo.
Now, Brent, I could tell you, maybe I could have been in the game I want to tell you about this time. It was in 1950, and it was again in Columbus, Ohio. And when the teams went out there, well, you can see it. There were temperatures below 0. There was blowing wind, and they just kind of slipped and slid back and forth between themselves. And and Michigan beat the Buckeyes 9-3. Forevermore, it's been known as the Snow Bowl.
Ed Jack, and the punter for Michigan was Chuck Ortman. Now lives down at the Landings in Savannah, Georgia.
Wow.
Wonderful fellow. Vic Janowitz was punting for Ohio State that day, one of the classics in this rivalry. The play clock coming down here.
This is a little different strategy Michigan's using. They want to keep their last timeout, and it cost them 25 seconds to keep a timeout. So their thinking is that they can kick and keep alive a field goal shot and be able to throw the ball over the middle of the field.
Yeah, remember last week Brady elected on his own to take a 5-yard penalty rather than burn a timeout against Penn State. Here they feel they can battle back, get field position, use the middle of the field for a first down to stop the clock, and give Epstein a chance.
I think it's sound strategy. I mean, you can go either way. You want an extra 25 seconds, or do you want an opportunity to save an extra timeout? Delay a game penalty. Ohio State ran the clock all the way down. 5-yard penalty. They started the clock again. Now they can't start it.
The clock should not run.
How did that get by? There's only 110,000 people here. I don't think anybody noticed that.
Better get a stronger hand on the stopwatch here.
Diallo Johnson had the big punt return against Penn State to set up that last drive where Michigan State threw the Michigan threw the touchdown pass.
Let's see how Michigan elects to play this one defensively. Stoltz is back. 8 on the line. And Diallo Johnson signals fair catch, and it goes out of bounds. A beautiful punt inside the 25-yard line, but the clock stops right now with 51 seconds to go on the 41-yard punt.
Now is the time. You love having a fifth-year senior quarterback who's done so well in these type of drives. You get him in there and you say, Tom, I'm going to trust you. Don't make any dangerous throws, but get us into field goal position.
And he's hit 8 of his last 10 after missing on his first 3. Thrown for 72 yards. And, of course, you would have thought David Terrell would be the big play wide receiver, but he's off the field. Diallo Johnson and Marquise Walker are now there. A first down stops the clock. 51 seconds. Michigan with a timeout to go. And the A-train to the 28, and the crowd not happy.
Whoa. Never mind all those good things I said about strategy. Never mind. Trailing 14-7. Lloyd Carr has said, let's go in at halftime and regroup.
And one of Gary Danielson's buddies here in Michigan, the great Ron Kramer, who played here before going to the Green Bay Packers, has catered lunch for the booth up here.
Beautiful.
Look at this. Cheese and fruit and crackers, Gary.
You eat it first. Ron brought it in. You test it.
Second down. Anthony Thomas, middle, clock stops.
Oh.
And Anthony's still coming to the 47-yard line.
See, now 3 seconds to go. Oh, that's, I don't know. I don't quite get it. Michigan will take a timeout and throw a Big Ben. Anthony Thomas, safe play, but you never know. Safe play might go all the way. Michigan burns what? Almost a minute and a half at the end of the half, taking a 5-yard penalty, not using a timeout, and then running the ball. I don't know.
Does it seem to anybody else that this game was moving along until we hit the last minute of this half, and this has taken us about 30 minutes to play?
Well, I think when you have a fifth-year quarterback who's done as well as Tom Brady, you have to trust him in these situations.
Jack Root.
Brent, just about a week and a half ago, Lloyd Carr did something that really got everybody's attention. He announced that he endowed a $350,000 scholarship. He'll be contributing over the next 7 years. This athletic academic scholarship will be part of the University of Michigan's scholarship program. But Lloyd Carr made one request. He asked that it go to a female athlete. He said, the women have always been working so hard, I'd like to recognize one. Kudos to Coach Carr. What a great payback to a great university.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more, Jack. Brady slides and down as the half comes to an end. So the half comes to an end, and for the Ohio State Buckeyes, it was a very positive first half. To qualify for a bowl game, they must win. They lead at 14-7, but remember the comeback kid. His name is Brady. A lot of football still ahead. Let's go to New York. John Saunders and Terry Bowden.
Indeed, Brent, Brady 3 times this year, fourth quarter comeback, so we'll look for that in the second half. But number 2 in the BCS standings this week, Virginia Tech, their first ever 9-0 start, but they had to remember losing to Temple last year. Michael Vick, 65 yards to Andre Davis, who shakes a couple of tackles, and Virginia Tech, who actually trailed in this game 7-0, grabbed a 24-7 lead.
Virginia Tech was very concerned about Michael Vick's injured ankle. No problem at all.
You see the 69 yards on the ground already. Tennessee at Kentucky. Hal Mumme, well, everybody wonders about what he's going to do, but you know it's going to come through the air. Tennessee counters on the ground. Running back Travis Henry, 40 yards on this touchdown run. He had another of 61 yards. And T. Martin also a touchdown pass. Tennessee in an early lead.
We're seeing another example today of why Kentucky's defense is last in the SEC in scoring defense.
All right, stick around. We'll come back with more scores and highlights, plus our achievement awards after this message and a word from your ABC stations.
From our New York studios, John Saunders and Terry Bowden.
Welcome back. 14-7. The Buckeyes have the lead. Remember, they have to win this game or they cannot go to a bowl. Michigan, meanwhile, this game may be about $9 million if they get into the BCS. We'll get back there in a moment. Let's get to the scores and highlights, and we'll stay in the Big Ten. This one between Minnesota and Iowa. Floyd of Rosedale, but Glenn Mason's not thinking about that right now. Billy Cockrum, 20 yards to Ron Johnson. And Minnesota grabbed a 7-0 lead for Iowa. They have yet to win in the conference this year. Scott Mullen, 6 yards to Bashir Yamini. And Iowa had grabbed a 14-10 lead.
And 14 points is their scoring average for the season. Makes you wonder if they've got any points left for the second half.
Minnesota looking for that 8th victory. Purdue at Indiana. Antoine Randall, he's been called the best athlete in college football by some. He's a college basketball player as well. Hooking up 36 yards to Darren Graham. Indiana grabs the lead on Purdue, 7-0. Nice run, get the ball over the line. And a two-point conversion after a Purdue try. Drew Brees to Vinny Sutherland. Two-point conversion is good. And Purdue would grab the lead at 17-14.
Well, neither of these teams have trouble scoring, but again, Indiana, one of the worst defenses in the Big Ten, may have trouble down the road for this great offense of Purdue.
You see the numbers on the two quarterbacks, neither misfiring too often today. In the ACC, NC State against East Carolina. Well, NC State's out of the ACC. East Carolina, of course, out of Conference USA. David Garrard, 2-yard touchdown run here as East Carolina jumps on top by one. It's been a tough year for State.
Well, East Carolina is assured of no worse than a Humanitarian Bowl in Boise. But, John, what's worse than the Humanitarian Bowl in Boise?
All right, but the interests of man go to the Humanitarian Bowl. Miami against Rutgers. Miami coming off that loss to Virginia Tech, pounding. Jarrett Payton has a touchdown run, first of his career, on the 22nd anniversary of his dad setting the single-game rushing mark in the NFL at 275.
Miami obviously can play offense without Kenny Kelly, injured now, may not play the rest of the season.
Rutgers only win against Syracuse. Virginia and Maryland. Dan Ellis just has to loft this one a couple of yards to Billy Barber as Virginia grabbed a 10-0 lead there. Lamont Jordan of Maryland has a touchdown run. He also set the school record for rushing yards in a season.
But Thomas Jones is one of the greatest runners, too. They're watching two great running backs in this game.
As a matter of fact, Thomas Jones is the best runner in college football right now, and we haven't heard much talk about him for the Heisman. Clemson, your brother Bobby has the lead. Tommy, rather, has the lead, 7-6 over South Carolina. This is a huge game for both coaches.
There's pressure on both of them. I wouldn't want to be the first coach to go 0-11 in the SEC or the first coach to lose to the guy that could go 0-11 in the SEC.
Also for Tommy, he's talking about a bowl game right there. Oklahoma and Texas Tech, 14-10. Speculation here about Spike Dykes.
This sure is. They need to have a good win here, because if they do, they will be bowl eligible.
Buffalo against Miami of Ohio. And the story here is Travis Prentice sets the NCAA record for career rushing touchdowns at 73. He has 78 yards in the game.
You got to be proud of him, too. It's another good call for the MAC conference.
Also, keep in mind, all of these records that he has broken, they all used to belong to Ricky Williams, now of New Orleans. Stick around. When we come back, it is time for the first ever College Football Achievement Awards. And also, we're going to put Terry Bowden on the spot. Let us know what you got planned for next year, whether it's going to be on the sidelines or next to me. Steve Belisari with a touchdown pass, one of two in the first half. The Buckeyes leading the Wolverines 14-7. This is Valvoline Halftime 99. John Saunders and Terry Bowden. As promised, time now for the first ever College Football Achievement Awards. You got a taste of it with Michael Vick winning the first-year Phenom Award. We gave you that before the start of the day. The Jay Berwanger Obscurity Award. Who's Jay Berwanger? First winner of the Heisman Trophy in 35. DeMar Fletcher, Wisconsin, 14 interceptions in less than 2 years, 7 this year. Oregon State running back Ken Simonton has rushed for 2,500 yards in his first 2 years.
But the winner's got to be Nevada wide receiver Trevor Inslee became the NCAA career leader in receiving yardage.
Inslee, and the congratulations all around. The most questionable decision, prize recruit Chris Sims deciding to go to Texas. He has to wait in line behind sophomore Major Applewhite, who's tearing up the Texas record book. Might be his senior year before he starts there. Baylor head coach Kevin Steele decided to go for a touchdown against UNLV despite the fact he led by 3. It was on the 8-yard line of Vegas, and they had no timeouts. They fumbled the ball, and Vegas wins the game.
But the obvious winner, FSU wide receiver Peter Warrick's decision to go bargain shopping at Dillard's Department Store, which cost him the Heisman Trophy.
Never say die. Wisconsin head coach Barry Alvarez awaiting knee surgery, forced to coach from the press box, hospital bed, and all the while leading the Badgers to a Big Ten title. Rutgers wide receiver Walter King snapping a personal 22-game losing streak. The Scarlet Knights upset Syracuse last week. He had 6 catches, 88 yards, and his first win in 3 years.
But the courageous winner, UAB defensive back Rodriguez Brooks, who left the game earlier this year against East Carolina in the second quarter on a stretcher with an apparent neck injury, was taken to the hospital but returned to the field by the fourth quarter, picked off his NCAA leading 8th pass, returning it 91 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a comeback you won't forget. The biggest bust, Notre Dame had won championships in 66, 77, 88, so you got to win in 99. Didn't happen for Bob Davie. 5-5 through their first 10 games. In his third year, other coaches have won titles. The Pac-10 Conference, 4 separate occasions this year, failed to have a top 25 team in the weekly polls.
But the big winner, the University of Arizona, ranked in the top 5 in the preseason polls, and today finding themselves needing one more win just to qualify for a bowl.
The top turnarounds, the Illini, scoring more points in their first 9 games than they did in all of 98 and 97 in their first winning season since 94. Ron Turner, a great job there. How about Clemson? One of the best turnarounds in ACC history, losing 7 league games last year, winning 5 this year. Your brother Tommy did a terrific job.
Yeah, but the best ever, Hawaii, could be the best turnaround in history with one more win. 0-12 last year, 7-3 with 2 shots left, 2 games left.
June Jones did a great job at Hawaii. Now, here's something that was a questionable decision in case you missed it. Deion Rayford, defensive lineman for Kansas, goes to a Taco Bell, says, give me a chalupa. They hand him the bag. The chalupa's not in there, so he tries to go through the window to get it and gets stuck.
I'd say one thing. Hey, Deion, drop the chalupa.
Absolutely. I got another thing I got to ask you about as far as decisions goes. We've heard about Texas Tech, LSU, and now really strongly this week that you are headed to North Carolina to be the head coach. Am I going to look for another partner?
John, there's been rumors linking me everywhere. It's time to stop the rumors. I've reached an agreement with ABC, and I'll be back with you next year. And I've learned to say Marcus Tuiasosopo, so he better come back, too, so I can watch them and talk about them next year.
News like that, I'm going to drop my chalupa. We want to remind you what's coming up at 3:30 Eastern Time here on ABC. Regional coverage, check local listings. Penn State against Michigan State. Penn State on a 2-game losing streak. Or UCLA against USC, the 70th meeting between the two. Home of the BCS here at ABC Sports. The Ohio State Buckeyes with the lead. Steve Belisari with 2 touchdown passes. Second half's coming up. Updating a couple of key games. Michael Vick having a good day. Touchdown run and touchdown pass. They've scored the last 27 points against Temple. And Tennessee against Kentucky. Tennessee really having their way on the ground today. Travis Henry, 13-yard touchdown run. That's his 3rd of the day. Dusty Bonner of Kentucky has a touchdown pass to get them on the board with a score of 27-7 under 7 minutes to go in the first half. Texas kicker Chris Stockton is the winner of this week's Burger King Scholar Athlete of the Week Award. Burger King Corporation, once again, will donate $1 million to the General Scholarship Fund for colleges and universities and $100,000 grant is named to his school at the end of the year for the yearly winner. Chris has 105 points this season, 8th on Texas all-time, at 3.8 GPA in biology, and has some advice for other Scholar athletes.
To keep their grades up, they would need to just really concentrate on balancing their time wisely, and whenever they do have free time, make sure they utilize it to study and get things done school-wise.
Chris Stockton is this week's Burger King Scholar Athlete. We here in our family at ABC would like to send along our condolences to those at Texas A&M and the terrible tragedy suffered there earlier this week. Preparations for the annual bonfire, which dated back to 1909, celebrating the annual football game against Texas. It turned to horror as the pyramid of 7,000 giant logs collapsed, trapping and crushing dozens involved in the construction and killing 12.
If you'd walked out to the site in a few hours right after it occurred, you would have seen people crying, hugging each other, trying to understand how it could happen. It's like a family, and big families suffer in the same way small families suffer.
Players were not involved, but many are now, helping in the aftermath and vowing to use the Texas game to honor the students who lost their lives.
Those people out there risked their lives, and some died trying to support us. We're really motivated going into this game to, really try to, if we can, make something positive out of this whole thing.
28 students still in the hospital, 2 in critical condition, and our thoughts are with them.
Ohio State leads Michigan by 7, but they best not get too comfortable because Tom Brady, the Michigan quarterback, is known as the comeback kid. This stat is from fourth quarters of comebacks against Notre Dame, Indiana, and Penn State. 16 of 20. 2 touchdowns throwing and a rush touchdown.
And that doesn't even count the Michigan State game when he was 19 for 22. Brent, I got a question. I'm always predicting everything. Can Ohio State hold on?
Yes, they can. I'll tell you what.
Final answer?
Yes.
Final answer. All right.
I don't have to call home. I got this one covered. Do I get $1 million?
You get $1 million. If they hold on, you get $1 million, okay?
Discovering the fullback area, I think, is huge for these guys.
It really has. It's given Michigan something else to stop on their defense. And you know what else? They've been blocking Rob Renas. And that means they've been able to get that extra guard up on Ian Gold. He has not been a factor in this football game.
Well, Kenyon Rambo goes back. The Bucks will handle it here in the first series. Neither team has turned the ball over here in the first half, but the Buckeyes have pounded for 130 yards rushing to only 50 for Michigan. Epstein, an outstanding kick man. Rambo's coming out from 3 yards in. Steps just past the 20-yard line. You know, when you go back in the Buckeyes season and you think about where it all turned around, it was Michael Wiley on a kickoff return against Wisconsin. Ball was jarred loose, and the Badgers pounce all over him to score 36 unanswered points. And if you want to pinpoint one play that turned it around, and we showed that right there because we started the second half without a fumble on a kickoff. And now Belisari with a 7-point lead. Rolls hard to the left. Fires, open receiver, got it.
Oh, man, what a catch.
Great grab by Rambo for 16 yards. And, Gary, let's take a look now at our Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half stat.
Well, when you just look at this, the shocking thing right here, Ohio State able to run the ball for 130 yards in the first half. And look at this, Brent. Michigan 1 for 6 on third down. That means they're losing yards on first and second. A lot of long third down plays to pick up.
Murphy leads the offensive line up. He's been doing a good job on the nose man, Renas, here so far. Now Belisari rolls right, and he's in trouble. This time he will not get away as Whitley cleans up, and that's the first sack of the game for the Michigan defense.
We talked about Rob Renas being quiet in this football game. A lot of times, though, he's taking up 2 blockers. This time he's got 2 of them, tackle and guard, because 2 guys block him. Other linebackers are available to make the play. Dhani Jones that time coming in there. But the inside linebackers, Jones and Gold, have been very quiet in this football game.
Now Michigan's D can tee it up. Second down and 16. Bucks need a big one. They'll go back to the fullback, and Michigan says that worked in the first half, but not now. On the fullback draw, Dhani Jones and Josh Williams. Jack, coaches' moods when they came back on the field. What'd you see, my friend?
Well, not surprising, Brent. John Cooper was very, very happy. But he did let me in on one thing. He said, I think Brady is going to go for the more passing, and we think we can put the pressure on him. For Lloyd Carr, he was very simplistic in the locker room. He challenged his team to play the best 30 minutes of football that they have done all season. He said, gentlemen, if you don't, you won't win.
Third down. Belisari. Middle, too high, intercepted. Patman at the 45. Crosses midfield. Daylight on the bad throw. The high throw by Steve Belisari. And Patman gives Michigan a huge lift here early in the second half.
I believe he got his arm hit on the throw. Tyson Walter, the left tackle, had his man pushed into him. Let's see if this guy comes up and gets it as Michigan plays a deep zone secondary in the back. Belisari, just as the is let's go. Well, maybe not. That ball was 10 yards overthrown the receiver. Not a chance for Reggie German.
Plummer plays bump and run on Terrell. He's done an outstanding job. And Thomas Just short of the 20-yard line. Picks up a couple of yards. Let's take a tight look at that, Gary.
At first, I thought, can you throw this one that bad without getting hit? And no, he let it go. There was a little rush at his stomach area, but that's one you expect your quarterback not to throw 15 yards too high. Don't like him in the pocket on 3rd and long. Just don't like that play call.
2nd down, Wolverines. Anthony Thomas.
No help deep down here.
They show blitz. End zone battle knocked away by Clements beautifully in the end zone. Nate Clements, the defensive back on Knight, and Knight scored the winning touchdown against Penn State a week ago from the slot.
Same play, Brent. The only difference is Ohio State moves their corner over to match up with both corners instead of the way Penn State did it when they kept their strong safety over on the slot receiver. A much better matchup for Ohio State.
Now it's 3rd down and 7. 3 wideouts. Plummer has Terrell, and he's playing soft on the right side, so they come back to screen Thomas. It was called. You could hear somebody yelling down on the field. It was read beautifully by the Buckeye defense. Jason Ott makes the stop on the play, and Michigan's big break bogs down.
Jason Ott hits this one from behind the screen. Watch him read it. You got to figure he had a man-to-man Anthony Thomas this time. Watch him come from behind the screen and make the play. That's great linebacker play, and that's how you teach it, just like that.
This would be a 42-yard field goal attempt by Hayden Epstein.
Oh, snuck it in.
Slipped it through for 3. But it was the high throw by Belisari which led to the field goal. The first turnover of this year's Ohio State-Michigan game. Patman picks it off. That leads to a Michigan field goal. It's 14-10. Timeout. Ohio State awaits the kickoff. Wiley on the left, Rambo on the right. Epstein with Michigan now trailing by 4 points. Tracks it down on the run, picks it back up before he stepped out of bounds, I believe. Now he cuts free, delayed, jumps over Epstein. One man to beat, it's Patman, cuts away, and he is caught from behind as Patman slows him down. One of those delayed reactions where the coverage gets down on a bobble kickoff, and the return man is able to find a crease.
I thought he stepped out of bounds, to tell you the truth. And I didn't know. He can't come back in, can he, and get that football? Well, I guess you can. He was the last one to touch it. I got to be honest with you. I don't know the rule. He was the last one to touch it, goes out of bounds and comes back in. I don't know if that's legal or not, but he sure ran nice with it.
No, I think he can come back in. That's a 52-yard return. I think that maybe this is different than the NFL. That rule is not the same in professional football. 1st down and 10. Belisari barks back to Wiley, and Walter moves in the meantime.
That was an electrifying play. Rambo is an unbelievable player when he gets his hands on the ball. Made some great catches in this football game. You know, Brent, Ohio State has trailed in every football game this year.
Ball start. Offense. 5 yards. Still 1st down.
So far in this game, they've led all the way.
And it's 14-10 right now after the Michigan field goal.
1st down, 15.
Play fake, Belisari comes deep again. Reggie Germany breaks free from Howard, but it's incomplete.
Let's update our tailgame solutions from the first half. Ohio State, what they had to do, what did I say? Run or lose. See, I'm doing this because I'm right, finally. This is the first time all year. And diversify Belisari. Get him out of the pocket, make him run, those 2 things. Michigan's defense has done a decent job, but those 2 big check marks have dominated the football game.
2nd down and 15. Wiley yards to the 36 and Tommy Hendricks.
Ohio State, people questioning whether they have quit this year. I called it a bit confused instead of quit. You can see Michael Wiley, what a great move on Victor Hobson here. Watch these feet. Hobson, number 6, should have him. Whoop! No way. Nothing but air as he grabs Wiley, gets away, and Wiley going to be one of those third down backs in the NFL coming out of the backfield.
The fullback.
Handoff to 23, Matt Keller.
Donnie Jones makes the play.
Interesting call here for John Cooper. 35-yard line, a little too far to go for a field goal. Do you punt it and try to back Michigan up, or do you try to seize the lead you have, show confidence in your offense, and try to pick it up?
Here's your 4th down. Toss, Wiley. The halfback pass. Throws it. Rambo's got it. First down. Wiley, one of the most accurate throwing halfback passers in America, does it again, and that's for 21 yards. Earlier this year, we saw him throw this for a touchdown.
Way in and way out. Michigan was not fooled. Who's calling this play? John Makovic? 4th down and a yard. Great patience by Wiley. Throws him a strike right there. Michael Wiley, as you said, you trust him. He's a senior. He's thrown the ball well. What a gamble call for Ohio State.
Wiley comes left. Hobson holding on, brings him down a gain of a yard. Michael Wiley has come to play here in his final Michigan-Ohio State game.
So far, Michael Wiley is the player for Ohio State, the player of the game. The way he's run, the way he's blocked, his leadership out there. Tremendous football game.
He's rushed for 62 yards. Jamar Martin, who broke free for 21 yards, checks into the backfield for the Buckeyes. Remember our storyline. The Buckeyes must win to qualify for any bowl. And now Belisari rolls left, fires end zone, diving interception.
He dropped it.
And he dropped it.
Yep. Nice play.
Field judge was right there on the play. Eric Brackens wrapped it up, but it was down, and the field judge jumped right to the spot.
Going to come across. Brackens is going to chase him the whole way. The outside linebacker. That's great coverage. Wisniewski looking back. Ball should have been intercepted, but you can see it hit the ground. Belisari takes chances with the football. I mean, he's got gamble in him. 1 for 4 this quarter. He throws it.
3rd down. Wiley, hole, nothing there. Hendricks. But it was the defensive line which penetrated and broke up the play. Then Hendricks was able to make the tackle, and the Buckeyes must settle for a field goal attempt here unless they go for a fake. They've tried a little bit of everything so far in this game. Steve Belisari is the holder, but a 27-yard field goal right now would regain the 3 points they lost just minutes ago here in this quarter. So Cooper elects to do just that, and the lead is back to 7. So 8:13 left in the 3rd, and we take a break. And we got a flag. That's why Stoltz is standing there. Hold on a second. It was 4th and 6.
Well,
just remember that.
If we hold par here, they'll talk and just pick it up, right?
Well, they'll talk a long time.
Right, talk a long time. Discuss it.
If it's a 5-yard penalty, it's not going to give them a first down. They may not want to take the points off the board. Let's see what happens here. It goes the other way, of course.
After the kick, dead ball, personal foul on the offense. The kick is good. Penalized on the kickoff, 15 yards.
Huge. That gives Michigan some great field position. Just look back to earlier this year and what happened in Notre Dame against Purdue. Timeout. Belisari's on the phone, but the key part about this is what's happening right now is they've got to kick off from the 20-yard line. This is a huge penalty against Ohio State. because Michigan brings Walter Cross up to the 20-yard line right now, and the Wolverines are trailing by only 7 points here. So they're going to wind up, you would think, with much better field position.
Buckeyes got to stop scoring. You get too many penalties when they score.
And that's the truth. Well, here comes Cross now. He fields the ball at the 24-yard line. And he bolts to the 44. Now, let us take you back. Remember when Rambo was running over, fumbled the ball, then steps out of bounds. And the issue was, is this legal? Then he comes back in, picks it up, and that set up the field goal drive. Let's go down now to Jack Arute, who has spoken with the officials. Jack, what do you hear down below?
Brent, it's real simple. When it's on the offensive side of the ball, if you go out of bounds, you can come back in and you can pick it up. And don't worry about it, Gary. I have the advantage of being able to ask the officials. You didn't were able to do that upstairs.
Here's Brady now on first down. Flashes over, and Thomas runs to daylight. Out of bounds at the 40-yard line, 15 yards on that play, and it was a first down beauty.
See, my problem is I was watching NBA basketball. You can't do that in basketball. Watch the stutter move by Anthony Thomas. Ott's going to come out, watch, just a little stutter. One little move. Jason Ott misses the tackle.
Thomas wrestled to the ground.
Where has Tom Brady been throwing the ball? This happened in the second half, okay? Everything else has happened in the first half. No deep balls by Tom Brady. I think they need to throw the ball downfield a little bit against this Ohio State man-to-man defense.
Well, here's the situation, 2nd and 8, and I can't say enough about the job that Ahmad Plummer is doing against Terrell. He has gone with him again off to your left. Playing him a little soft, and they put another corner on the slot man. They don't let Knight run free. Brady looks in that direction. Now he comes underneath the Marquise Walker, and that's defended by another corner, Clements. So the Buckeye defense is doing a whale of a job in that secondary against this Michigan passing attack. Pugich's defensive backs have so far turned in an outstanding game. Pugich signals to Ott, too. He'll look down at the wristband. He'll pass along the play to the rest of the defenders. Now we'll come up with a 3rd and 9. Ohio State's defense has been outstanding on 3rd downs. Brady runs out of way, looks into the middle, didn't pick up a man, and runs for the first down. What a great play by Tom Brady. To the 22-yard line, a run of 16 yards for a quarterback who certainly is not known for his mobility.
He did it against Penn State last week. Great trips by Michigan. Look at the coverage by Ohio State. They overload the coverage. Nobody to really throw the ball to. Good coverage. 5 defenders to that half of the field. So Brady says there's nothing out here. Let me scramble back to the other side of the field for the first down.
That personal foul on the field goal allowed Michigan to wind up with good field position. They've got a first down at the 24-yard line. Play fake. Brady rolls, looks down the middle, picked off, underthrew, but there is a penalty flag. Berry picks it off for the Buckeyes, runs free to the right. Thomas is blocked by Clemens, and now Berry is across midfield, but hold everything. There's a penalty flag back at the 24-yard line, and Brady can't believe how badly he underthrew Knight that time, I believe, on the pass.
You're right. Michigan is hoping for a penalty. Marcus Knight was open for about 3 seconds. Brady thought he had an easy one and didn't throw it on time.
Against the Buckeyes.
And it wasn't on the return either. It was before Brady threw the ball. Let's see if it's holding right there on Aaron Shea. See that holding right there on Aaron Shea coming out on the bootleg. Brady sees Marcus Knight but throws the ball late. That's an excellent call. Throws a duck, and Gary Berry gets it.
Rodney Bailey. was the defensive end who had a hold of Shea on that play. It doesn't come any bigger than this penalty right here.
Under defense, 10 yards, previous spot, results in a first down.
I know John feels he's getting homered, but that was a good call.
And now the Wolverines.
Happiest guy is Tom Brady, I'll tell you that right now.
I'd say that's the worst pass we've seen in a long time. First down. Ball is at the 13-yard line. So it'll be Thomas. Big hole left side. Closed pass. Johnson and Berry shut it down. Our Applebee's game back since 1922. 6.4 million folks have attended the Michigan-Ohio State game. First among all college rivalries. See, Michigan State is next. And UCLA USC. And today tack on 111, 575. An NCAA record.
Second down, just under 10 yards to go.
Brent, Niall Diggs has been very quiet in this football game.
Second down. Brady. Ball bobbled. Buckeyes recover.
Michael Doss took it right out of Brady's hands.
Now Brady is trying to sell him on the idea he was throwing the ball.
Not going to win it.
But the umpire is not buying it. And exuberant Coach Puggich with the defense that overcomes a tremendous holding penalty. Watch.
Michael Doss is coming from the backside. Brady never sees him. There's the punt. Watch Doss. Before he throws the ball.
Great call.
Great call.
And no question that was a fumble.
And his Ohio State defense stops Michigan again. Remember the interception by Belisari, and now at the end of this drive.
Clinton Wayne with the big recovery. Now Belisari and the Buckeye offense. The Honey Jones trying to come. Jonathan Wells, the running back. Wells gets past Whitley to the corner. Bust past the safety. Couldn't get him out of bounds. Blocked by Martin. Jonathan Wells down the sideline to the 5-yard line. Todd Howard saves a touchdown. A 76-yard run for Wells. And Cato June has to be shaking his head in disbelief as the freshman let him off the hook.
Great spin move on the sideline. Counter play to the outside. Watch the spin move. Coming to the sideline, you're sure he's going to get out of bounds here. Now watch his spin move. Look at that. There's no way this guy can make this
right
tackle.
Foot.
Watch it. Nope. Don't think it goes out of bounds. Head linesman's right there. Now why does he cut in? Don't understand that. Run for the pylon.
On a first down, Belisari and the Bucks throw it to the 50th row. I mean, when Belisari decides to throw one to the peanut vendors, he lets it go.
Don't understand why Wells cut back.
I got another question. I don't understand Cooper's decision to throw right there with Belisari.
And you know when he called the play, he said, if it's not there, throw it away.
I'd say. Whatever. If you're going to throw down there, do it on the first or second, Johnny. Absolutely.
I don't think he's out. I don't think so. Official's right there. Excuse me. Didn't get it circled in time.
All right, here's the toss down to Wiley. Keller's out in front. Hobson stretches it out and then gets help. Great play by number 6 that time, who stretched that play out defensively and never let Wiley get turned upfield early. Ian Gold then comes over to clean it up, and now suddenly it's 3rd and goal.
Right. And I still wonder why Jonathan Wells tried to cut that play back. Here's the end of it again. A sprint to the end zone seems to me he would get to the pylon. Just go this way. Why does he cut back? That gave June a chance to make that tackle.
Excellent point. There's no question if he'd have veered back off to the pylon, Gary. And now you wonder, can Belisari work a quarterback draw for Cooper? Michigan, would they be ready for something like that? Will Belisari roll right? Will he throw it? He has 2 tight ends. Remember, Hauser scored 1. Saunders is in. Play fake, and he's hit. Hendricks on a safety blitz forces the ball loose. Hammer Hendricks rips into Belisari.
I the lineman got the ball. Want to play quarterback?
It's the
play
tight end.
action pass. Tommy Hendricks.
Hendricks jars it loose. Now this is Hauser, Gary.
Yep,
who
Hauser
played
gets it.
baseball with your young son over in Ohio, who makes a huge recovery here as Hendricks just comes absolutely free. Hauser gets it, almost lands right in his lap, but it forces Ohio State to attempt a field goal. This a 30-yarder for Stoltz. Buckeyes lead at 7.
Oh, mistimed.
And it's off to the left. Missed it. So both teams weather the storm here in Ann Arbor. It's Michigan. It's Ohio State. Expect the unexpected. Timeout.
First glance, you can see that Steve Belisari bobbles it, but then it looks pretty good. Hey, should be able to kick that. But watch the kicker. Just a little bit of a bobble. He stops, and then he starts again, throws off the timing, and costs him the field goal.
So Tom Brady and Michigan get a chance coming out from their own 20-yard line. On first down, fires Terrell, penalty flag flying. Ahmed Plummer all over Terrell.
Well, you can't play out there all game without one interference penalty. Brent talked about Niall Diggs being quiet. Watch Aaron Shea, number 36. One of the best pass rushers in college football right there. And look at Shea handle him. There's a guy I would want on my football team, Aaron Shea.
So Terrell draws the penalty. He has been held by Plummer to 2 catches for 15 yards here today. Knight is being shut out for Brady. It is first down and 10. 3:30 to go in the third quarter. Brady, incomplete. Intended for Terrell. John Saunders, what's going on, my friend?
Well, Brent, it's the Burger King update, and people who haven't had a chance to see this guy, take a look. Michael Vick against Temple just outrushes the entire Temple defense, blowing past a couple of guys late, and takes it for the touchdown, 75 yards, 12 carries for 134 yards. He's just thrown for another touchdown. The extra point is pending, 40-7. Brent.
All right, John. Could see him dance down Bourbon Street before this season is over. The way they're rolling. Here comes Brady on a draw with Anthony Thomas left side. Tackled at the 40-yard line. He blew past Diggs that time on that play. Diggs did not step up to make the stop. An ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter. We measure success one Investor at a time. Just for men, blends away gray hair in 5 minutes. Looks so natural, no one can tell. With Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. Ohio State 17, Michigan 10, 3:10 remaining here in the third quarter. 4 wide receivers on first down, shotgun, Michigan to put it up right away. Marquise Walker, not a well-thrown ball. 2nd and 10.
In the open, I talked about Ohio State, a little bit confused why they're not winning. Maybe a little loss of confidence. Something has gone wrong now. It looked like they were going to score to make it 24-10. Now the seniors on this defense for Ohio State have to buckle it up and say, let's just keep playing hard. Let's focus on our assignments. Let's not let this thing get away because we lose confidence.
They are giving up only 3.4 yards a play defensively. The Buckeyes are here today. 2nd down and 10. Wolverines will try Knight in motion and come back to the right side with a run. Buckeyes left a hole, and the A train exploded to the 49-yard line. And of course, coming up, Penn State will be taking on Michigan State up in East Lansing. Out west, you'll see UCLA against USC. Check your local listings for the game in your area. 3rd down and 1. Shea is offset to the right behind the tight end. They'll run Thomas over there, and he's stuffed on, hit him first. And then the middle of that Buckeye defense, led by Mike Collins, puts him away, and it was a terrific defensive effort by Ott that time.
You're right.
It jammed up the middle and forced a 4th down.
Jason Ott has come under criticism as not being an athletic enough guy to play middle linebacker. Today he's having an outstanding football game, and he stuffed that play.
Forcing a punt.
I'll tell you what Lloyd Carr's saying. Listen, I'm calling that play because I thought my offensive line could block for 1 yard.
Epstein back to punt. Rambo standing at the 10-yard line. Signals a fair catch at the 12-yard line. That's what Belisari and the Bucks will have it. So next Saturday, Spain's El Nino, Sergio Garcia, competes in his first Skins game. He joins Fred Couples, Mark O'Meara, and David Duval. One of America's favorite Thanksgiving traditions, the Skins game next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on ABC Sports. 17-10 Ohio State leading Michigan. 1:35 to go here in the 3rd period.
It's my first Ohio State-Michigan football game in person, and I can feel the tension in this crowd right now. Everyone here knows what it's all about, and they feel this season and a chance to go to the Fiesta in orange with Ohio State standing in the way.
Keller was confused. He passes it on back to Wiley. Wiley carries on the play. Jumps the first defender, but goes no further. And the 11-yard line, tackle made by Rob Renas. 111,000 plus on hand. A record crowd today watching another Donnybrook between Ohio State and Michigan. The Wolverines favored by almost 2 touchdowns. About 12 points to be exact. But it is the underdog who has carried the battle here today. Ohio State 1 victory shy of qualifying for a bowl. They come out now with a 2nd down and 11. Will Belisari put it up? Yes, he will. We got the middle, got his man picked off. Ian Gold jumps back, picks it off again. He had his tight end wide open on the play. And now Gold, a former high school running back, battles his way back to the 8-yard line. Can this Buckeye defense hold again? It was another horrendous pass by Belisari.
Yep. Coordination in the passing game. The receiver was open before Belisari was ready to throw the ball. Watch the tight end get open. Here's Ian Gould. He's going to bait Belisari. Watch when he gets open. The quarterback should be ready to throw the ball right now. There he is. Throw it to him. Gold's even facing the wrong way at that time, but he waits, he waits, he waits. Gold turns around and gets the interception.
Michigan with another big break on the interception by Gold. Tremendous effort by Ian Gold. Now Brady and the Wolverines will attempt to cash in. Play fake, first down, roll, here's Shea, reaches touchdown. Michigan scores. It was Thompson coming out. Sean Thompson, the tight end, 8 yards on the touchdown pass, and an extra point away from the tie as sophomore Sean Thompson battles to the end zone.
Misdirection pass play is the play that has given Ohio State trouble all year. First down, misdirection, slide your extra tight end out, touchdown.
Epstein for the tie. Got it. The comeback kid is at it again.
Action this way, coming this way, right out in the flat. Watch the tight end sneak out, blocks for a second, comes back out right there. Easy catch. Michael Doss almost comes in and saves a touchdown right here, but touchdown for Michigan.
And the young man from Saginaw, Michigan, scores his biggest touchdown of the season, the 6'4", 255-pound sophomore, Sean Thompson.
Ohio State called the same type of play on first down when they had it, 1st and goal. Michigan played the defense, did their assignments, nobody to throw to. Remember, Belisari had to throw it away. Michigan comes back. Ohio State busts an assignment. They get a touchdown out of it.
The ebbs and flows. Wiley looks for an opportunity. Both benches so deeply involved in this game. Players on both sides. For 34 seniors, this is their last Michigan-Ohio State game. One quarter and 37 seconds of regulation left. From the goal line. Fumble, but I believe out of bounds.
Second interception by Belisari, thrown over the middle of the field. 2 INTs over the middle, and both times, one was high, this one was late. Too late. Throw the ball. Get ready to throw the ball. Too many false steps by your quarterback. Gold is just sitting there baiting the quarterback, and all of a sudden Michigan's in a position to score.
Keller and Wiley are behind Belisari. Wisniewski stems to the left. Rambo through the formation. Fullback is Keller into the middle to the 26-yard line, and Ian Gold, who made that huge interception for the Wolverines, had twin brothers who were college football players. Moved on now.
Both linebackers, he said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He played as good a game as we've seen last year, but they never got Penn State an offensive lineman on him all day.
So Tom Brady finds a way. Now 12 of 20. And this is most important completion of the day. He goes to Thompson. We're tied. Back after this message and a word from our ABC station. So many times this decade, Michigan has broken Ohio State's heart when they were ranked 5th. Twice when they were 2nd. 3 times they upset them. Can Ohio State return the favor? Here's Michael Wiley slipping at the 30-yard line, and Jack Arute is down below with somebody who almost became a Wolverine, huh, Jack?
Well, actually, Brent, he did take some courses here. Derek Jeter, do you consider yourself still a Wolverine?
Oh, yeah. You're a Wolverine for life, so I got to get back and try to get some more classes.
Now, let's talk about Drew Henson, because you've seen these games before, but you're here taking care of who could be your third baseman.
Hopefully in the future. I mean, he's got a lot of options. He's a great quarterback, and obviously has a bright baseball future as well, so the Yankees are going to try to sway him towards baseball.
All right, who's going to win it today?
Oh, Michigan. They're going to score a lot this year.
There you go, Brent. Take it to the bank from the Yankee King.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. That was 3rd down and 4 and an incomplete pass.
And that was almost disaster. That's the best thing that could have happened for Ohio State on that throw. I thought Tahani Jones was going to intercept it right here. Crossing route. Tahani Jones is backing up right there. That should have been intercepted. If Jones doesn't slip, that would have been another disaster. Why are they not sprinting Belisari out of the pocket?
Diallo Johnson set to return the Stultz punt. Oh, not a good one. Ohio State needs a bounce, and they get it. One for the Buckeyes. Rolls dead on the 25. Tom Brady will be coming out 75 yards away. Timeout. With the game tied at 17. Tom Brady and the Wolverines with the ball. Anthony Thomas, who's been the workhorse, carries behind a pulling guard. Hutchinson tackled by Ott. And you know, this game means so much in the two cities, and one of the great warriors from the past in this rivalry was Chris Spielman. great linebacker at Ohio State, then came to the Detroit Lions, and he was asked, how important is this rivalry in Columbus?
The pressure down here to win this football game is amazing, that what head football coaches go through. And Coach Cooper got the monkey off his back last year, and it was hard for him. I remember talking to him. It was difficult because people expect you to win that game.
And they still expect you to win it, Chris. Tied at 17. One of the pressure contests of the season. End around, play fake. Brady stands tall. Gonna go down the middle. Once Knight overthrows everybody because the secondary was not fooled by the play fake this time.
Tremendous play by Ahmed Plummer that time. His man went in the reverse, so Ahmed smelled something, went back to center field, and really took the throw out of Brady's hands and made Brady throw it long. That's a senior who's seen it all, doing his assignment on that play. You know, Brent, Chris Philman is one of the few crossover athletes that is a hero in Michigan and Ohio. The other one I can think of is Howard Hopalong Cassidy, who played for Ohio State and the Lions.
And Chris Spielman is a good hero, too, I might add. Here comes Brady. Forced out. On the move. Cotton's got him at the 25-yard line. That's the 5th sack of the game for this Buckeye defense, and they keep bringing the heat.
They keep bringing the heat because the Michigan receivers are not burning the DBs for Ohio State. Clemens, Plummer are doing a good enough job that if you're Freddie Puckett, you say, I'll blitz. They can't beat my guys.
Now it's Epstein versus Rambo.
Kenyon Rambo, deep for Ohio State.
From the 38, penalty flags come flying. Pushing in the back.
Michael Doss this time, number 2, trying to block the gunner coming down the field, pushes in the back. And instead of having the ball on the 42-yard line, they're going to mark off from the spot of the foul back.
Belisari with 2 touchdown passes, but 2 very costly interceptions.
And now if you're Mike Jacobs calling plays, you've lost a little confidence in Steve Belisari. The last 2 passes, one was intercepted and the other one should have been intercepted.
Let's take a break. 12:36 remaining. Tied at 17. Timeout.
Brent, here's where Steve has thrown the balls from 2 interceptions inside the pocket right there.
Jonathan Wells, who had a big run earlier in this half, stumbles coming up to the line of scrimmage. The Buckeyes have rushed today for 213 yards. And a reminder that at the end of the game, we'll select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each University General Scholarship Fund at the beginning of this year. Chevrolet also donates 2 $1,000 high school scholarships. 2nd down and 10.
Ohio State has run the ball for over 200 yards against Michigan. I never thought they could do that. That's kept them in the game.
Eric Wilson shaken up. Has to come off the field.
Oh, the whistle blew to start the clock, and Tyson Walter thought it was the end of the play. That should be 5 yards. That's the mechanics of the game. Don't put him in a stance until the whistle blows.
There it is.
Absolutely.
Snap, ball start, offense, 5 yards, down remains 2nd.
That's just a mental mistake by an offensive line that got in their stance before the whistle blew to start the play.
That is the 10th penalty against Ohio State for 100 yards. So 10 penalties and 2 costly turnovers in this game for the Buckeyes.
Happens on every first down play. Start the clock with a whistle.
Germany Rambo, and now Belisari rolls hard left. Looks for somebody, keeps it, and battles his way to the 34-yard line to Honey Jones. What struck me in looking at the wide receivers is when Belisari started to scramble, I thought both of them sort of slowed up on that far side.
Well, Michigan was in a zone, and I think Ohio State probably called that play thinking it was going to be man-to-man covered. You see Michigan in a deep zone. The wide receivers go, whoop, there's nothing there. We got a little smash route on, but still a positive play. One-on-one with Steve Belisari on the corner is a good play in this offense.
3rd down and 5. Wiley slots. Belisari's going to run for it. Can he get the first? Yes. On his 2nd effort, as he breaks another tackle, he makes it to the 45-yard line.
Well, what was it? 2nd and long, what, 17, 16 yards? And on 2 straight running plays by your quarterback, you pick it up. That's what the Ohio State offense can do and spread this Michigan defense out. And then the running game gets better from Wiley.
Now the ball just shy of the 45-yard line of the Bucks. Here's Wiley, middle, Hendricks.
It is.
But almost 10 yards on that play. So tomorrow on ESPN, the New Orleans Saints go to Jacksonville to face Mark Brunell and the first-place Jaguars. Then Monday on ABC, in a heated rivalry, the Denver Broncos take on Tim Brown and the Oakland Raiders. It's Monday Night Live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC. 2nd down and about half a yard to go here. Keller gets the first down for the Bucks as he crosses the Michigan 45-yard line. Dave Petrozello checks into that defensive line as Michigan continues to rotate down defensive linemen, attempting to keep fresh players on the field here with 11 minutes to go in regulation.
And one of the reasons Eric Wilson, number 94, limped off. He's not back in.
Wiley, nothing doing. So the big costly mistakes by the Buckeyes, the 2 picks, the missed field goal, and 6 penalties this half for 55 yards.
Yeah, you're right. Ohio State came into this game last in the Big Ten in turnover margin. First half, no turnovers, leave the field with the lead. Second half, caught up with them.
Wiley cuts right to the 31-yard line, and Michael Wiley continues to pick up big chunks of yardage. That is 14 more now for Wiley, who is closing in on 100 yards. 21 carries for 91 yards for Wiley. And the Bucks today have rushed for 258 yards against this Michigan defense.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. There's no way Michigan figured this Ohio State offensive line was going to block them and run the ball that much. The offensive line from Ohio State, unsung heroes in this football game. Remember Rob Renas against Penn State shoving his way into the backfield, busting up all those blocking assignments? Today he has been neutralized.
Murphy, the center, going one-on-one, and Wiley forced back into the inside. Hall was there along with his friends. Petrozello in on the stop. An ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the all-new 2000 Pontiac Bonneville. Luxury with attitude. Dell Computer, pioneering direct internet ideas for your business. Be direct Dell. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Valvoline. You can always tell the guys who use Valvoline. 9:45 to go. Michigan 17, Ohio State 17.
It's so quiet. The crowd is nervous. That's an illegal formation.
End around. Here comes Rambo. Rambo looking for daylight, gets forced back inside, and there is your penalty flag.
Illegal formation. Reggie Germany was not up on the line of scrimmage on a trick play, on balance play. Number 80. Rambo's going to go in motion, but when you go on balance, look, he's off the line of scrimmage. He needs to be up on the line. too many backs in the backfield. That's an illegal formation.
And they'll measure it off against the Bucks.
See, that's a little bit. I just want to say you got a young quarterback, but that's something as your coach, you depend on your quarterback to get the people in the right formation too. You look out there and say, move up, Reggie. That's something Joe Germain does in his sleep. Steve Bellastari, still a young football player, still isn't doing it.
The yards allowed today.
Remember, Michigan State held Ohio State to 0 yards rushing.
Wiley and Keller in the backfield. Bellastari fires complete to Probert. Fumble! Michigan's got it, I believe. I think Cato June may have pounced back in after it bounced away from Hobson. Let's let him sort it out.
James Whitley had the hit right on the football. Belisari's foot slips. Brent, we were talking to this before the game. Watch when he comes out. Here's the pass down here. Watch Belisari's back foot slip as he lets the ball go. Slip, throw it, a little late, good throw, boom, right on the football. Another turnover for Ohio State.
That was Cato June who came in at the end as you watch this. Great hit here by Whitley. Yep. Ball free. Now it's first down, and Brady shows shotgun. Fires hard to the side and complete to Johnson. Defended by Clements on that far side. They pick up 4 to 5 yards on that first down pass.
Ball now at the 28-yard line.
Tom Brady is 13 of 22, 94 yards, 1 touchdown, and no picks. Remember, one very costly interception was called back because of a holding call on the defense. Anthony Thomas, a workhorse.
Diggs does a nice job on that play. Jason Odd made the tackle, but Diggs that time saw the isolation play, got in the backfield, and just got his arm on Anthony Thomas.
2 yards shy of 100 for Anthony. Third down and 3, Michigan.
Got to be a passing situation here for Michigan.
Got it. First down at midfield, and he went back to Sean Thompson, who caught the touchdown pass for 20 yards.
Misdirection pass play. It has been a killer for Ohio State all year. Ohio State gets in the bare front. Niall Diggs is lined up right over the man who caught the ball. That's his assignment. He didn't do his assignment.
Shotgun look on first down. Michigan at midfield. Staying in the air. Johnson gets about 8 yards. Almost 9 on a first down pass.
You can see the Ohio State players looking at the scoreboard. They're getting down. Safety blitz this time, but Gary Berry's disguising it too much. He comes free, but it took too long for him to get there. Watch this. Doesn't get there. Shea's ready to block him. Easy pass. The Buckeyes are beginning to look at the scoreboard. That's not a good sign.
Second down. Brady gets help from Hutchinson. Comes deep. Knight incomplete. Ahmed Plummer again closing in on the wide receiver, and it is third down.
Wonderful coverage. Ahmed Plummer has been outstanding in his football game.
But Brady trailing by 7 at the half, and remember these are fourth quarter numbers. 16 of 20 coming into this game with comebacks against the Irish, Indiana, and Penn State. Now he faces a 3rd and 1 with the ball at the 41-yard line. Toss. Thomas. There's 100. There's a first down. There's 30. Duke Ellington would be very proud of this A train. "27 carries for 110 yards for Anthony Thomas, the young man from Louisiana who shook off the snow and said, 'Give me Ann Arbor.'"
Anthony Thomas has played in every quarter for Michigan all year except for the fourth quarter against Illinois. He did not play. Illinois came back, scored 4 touchdowns to beat Michigan.
Now Pugage's defense needs another big play. Berry on the blitz. Thomas runs away from it, but gains no more than about a yard if he got that. Ohio State and Michigan are tied at 17, with the Wolverines favored by a dozen points here today and need a win to go to either the Orange or the Fiesta Bowl. Bowls that bring in excess of $12 million to the Big Ten. The Buckeyes need a win just to get anywhere. 6:24 now left in regulation on Rivalry Saturday. Brady gets great protection from the offensive line. He can make a sandwich. Comes back to the near side, and open is Marquise Walker. Reaches to the 11-yard line. 17 yards as Brady is given all day by Backus, Hutchinson, Brandt, Seaman, and Mo Williams.
Ohio State tried a gimmick defense. They're going to drop here and only rush 3 people. Because of that Michigan offensive line can double team. Actually, they only rush 2 people. Another guy drops. That gave Brady all day to throw the ball.
First down at the Buckeye 11-yard line. Thomas to the 10.
Michigan's going to come in the game with the 4 wide receiver set. A field goal puts them up with 5 minutes to go. You wonder if it's going to be a draw play. If you're Fred Puggage, I think you got to come after him. You can't sit back.
Shotgun. Walker again. Clements. Got it. Michigan leads it on the 10-yard pass from the comeback kid.
Ohio State doesn't cover him. No one on that receiver.
The extra point.
Nobody on him. Look at this. How can there be 4 wide receivers? You and I saw it, Brent. No one covers one of the 4 wide receivers. Man-to-man coverage costs them 7 points.
Brady 5 of 6 in that scoring drive. Timeout. Michigan leads it. The sophomore from Boca Raton, Florida, just wants one more chance. 24-17. 3 critical turnovers by the Buckeyes in this half. Rambo and Wiley are back deep. This will be Rambo from the 4-yard line to the 20-yard line. We told you about the turnover. Belisari's had trouble throwing down the middle, overthrowing wide receivers, not picking up tight ends in time, and then the costly Probert fumble recovered. And now the Buckeyes have lost the fumble in 11 games this year. That's right. These are second half mistakes, but consider this. The Bucks have lost fumbles in 11 games this season. First down and 10 now. Belisari tries to mount something here. High and incomplete. We check in down below with Jackaroo. Jack?
Brett, it's amazing what a touchdown like that can do to the spirits of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, through the first 3 quarters, this bench area here was always kept empty. But when the defense came off, they slammed themselves down into those benches, and they're trying desperately now to get their focus back. John Cooper came and spoke to them, tried to get them pumped back up, but a lot of them were just shaking their heads.
They've been held to a field goal in this half, Jack, and they had chances and they did not cash in. Second down and 10. They've made numerous mistakes. You wonder if the defense believes that the offense can do something. Second down and 10. Now Belisari, Hall closing in, ball on the ground, Michigan goes for it, picked up by the Bucks, it's Wiley. Wiley breaks free of Gold, out to the 25-yard line. Anybody can pick a fumble up if it's not fourth down, and that was second.
Well, Hall came around and almost ended this football game. One-on-one tackle against Hall, coming from the blind side. Charles Bentley moved out to tackle. Comes right in there and fumble. That's clearly a fumble right there before Belisari moved it forward. And turned out to be a play that got Ohio State in a position to get a first down.
Here's your third down and 5. In trouble again. Gonna try to run for it. Oh, no! Won't get it. Cato June.
Oh, I thought he could have dove for the first down. It's easy from up here, but that was a big-time hit from Cato June.
And remember, he has missed a couple of tackles today. Yep. Cato June has, especially on Jonathan Wells' big run.
Right here, Cato June. Pressure comes inside. Thought it was going to be a sack. Belisari, great feet, comes out. And then watch this hit from the right side. Boom, just stands up. A great athlete in Steve Belisari.
Michigan's defense will use a timeout because the Bucks are going to go for it here on 4th and inches. So the Wolverine defense wants to talk about it as they take a timeout with 3:27 to go. We'll take a break. Wolverines lead at 24-17. And the Buckeyes with all 3 timeouts remaining on their conversions, 5 of 14. Here they're going to try a 4th down, and Gary, just go with Belisari?
I think so. I think just sneak him. He's the strongest running back you got. Ohio State is in a loaded formation with another lineman in the game.
Looks like a goal line defense. Here it comes.
Yeah, he came across the line. He made it.
And then Belisari and Whitley go at it. You know, some things, as Gary so aptly pointed out, don't show up in the stat sheet. We saw the turnovers. But this well could have been an Ohio State touchdown, in our opinion, if Wells had just stayed for the pylon here.
Yeah,
Gary.
he made such a great play. I don't want to criticize him, but just if he'd have just stayed straight, he did not trust his speed, cuts back, and actually gave Howard a chance to make the tackle. Otherwise, if he gets tackled, he'd be inside the 1 at the worst. Maybe a touchdown.
He must have thought Howard had an angle.
Oh, sure he did. He surely did. Yeah, there's no doubt.
We look at it from his point of view. Yep. First down and 10 now. And here comes Belisari up firing. Going to come down to Reggie Germany in a duel with Howard. Germany almost had it.
Late.
Went up with Howard and had a crack at that pass.
Young quarterbacks do not understand how far a receiver will run after the ball goes in the air. Germany has this ball all the way. He has to slow down, stop, and then Howard comes back to make a play on it. That ball was about a half a second late before Belisari threw the ball. It's a tough thing to teach. 5 steps, hitch, throw. You can't wait. They'll outrun it.
Jack Cascio in. Second down and 10. Belisari's going to slip it into Wiley's hands. There's a block on Hall. And Wiley makes the most of it for 7 and almost 8 yards on that play.
Tomorrow, we got a rematch of the 1996 MLS inaugural championship game. Eddie Pope and DC United look to win their third championship in 4 years. They take on the LA Galaxy. The MLS Cup 99 tomorrow live at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific on ABC Sports. 3rd down and 2. And the Bucks are going to try to run Belisari. Not a good idea. Jones won't let him free this time. Down at the 30-yard line. 3rd sack of the game, and now the Bucks are in a big 4th down hole.
I don't understand. Ohio State is going to burn a timeout here. I thought they might punt the ball and burn their last 3 trying to stop Michigan. A play-action pass play. This has not been good to Ohio State's offense, and here's a sack on a huge 3rd and 3 play.
Dahane says, not this time. I'm holding on till help arrives. Timeout. 4th down and about 9 yards, and they need to go right there. Belisari fires. Germany diving, incomplete. Michigan takes over on downs at the 32-yard line. Reggie Germany was open, and Belisari did not connect with him.
Cannot get anybody more open than that. Safety blitz, it's a zone blitz. Germany, let's see if he pauses, and Belisari thought he was going to keep crossing. See, Germany slows down. Belisari thinks he's going to keep coming across. Miscommunication, incomplete pass. That was not that bad of a pass. I'm sorry.
Ohio State with 2 timeouts remaining, and they trail it by 7. Can they stop Michigan? Anthony Thomas, for the 5th straight game, has rushed for more than 100 yards. 29 carries, 112. Caught another 5 passes for 51 yards. Hutch pulls. Thomas. They try to get it away from him.
Going to be a face mask. Let's go back to that incomplete pass from the secondary. Look at it and see the problem here, the communication between the receiver. Safety blitz, going to be wide open right here. Watch Germany slow down. Belisari thinks he's going to keep coming across. This is wide open. This should have been complete. That's his best. See how he stops? Now, I'm not exactly sure if that was a curl route or a crossing route, but a miscommunication. Belisari steps, throws, ball goes across the field. That costs Ohio State a 1st down.
Michigan now is 1:57 away from either Miami for the Orange Bowl or Tempe for the Fiesta Bowl. We'll see how things play out. There's a lot of speculation down in Miami that if Florida State beats Florida later today, they would take the Gators and Michigan in the Orange Bowl. Out in Tempe, however, there's also talk about a Nebraska-Michigan game or a Kansas State-Michigan game. Still a lot of snaps ahead.
Good execution by Michigan here, snapping the clock, under 3 on the clock, the 25-second clock. Interesting what they're going to do here. They're going to re-rack it.
A season to forget in Columbus, unless a miracle occurs here in the last minute and a half. Wiley played his heart out today. Cooper was aggressive on that far sideline, but again, the Buckeyes have made too many mistakes here today and didn't finish off what they started.
They just got another penalty. Or did they? I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. Now they get another 25 seconds on the clock. Look at this.
They might have mismarked it on that first penalty.
Oh, they re-racked. Did they re-rack this clock too?
I think they changed the mark.
Oh, I bet what it was. The clock should not have been running down. Is Ohio State's point.
So here's 1st down.
No, you did.
And here's Anthony Thomas. The other thing about a great back in a situation like this, he doesn't fumble. A reminder that time permits. Stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. So we'll have John Saunders and Terry Bowden. We showed you where we
thought the turning point was for the Buckeyes with that fumble against Wisconsin. Let's take you back to what we think is the Michigan turning point. October 30th at Indiana. First time this season Tom Brady played the whole game. Fourth quarter trailing. He hits David Terrell on a 46-yarder, and that sets up Benny Chaperou's 7-yard touchdown pass. Michigan holds on to win that one 34-31. Brady and the Wolverines have not lost since then. We send you to New York and John Saunders. John?
Brett, just a reminder that when you are done, LeVar Arrington will try and help Penn State in a 2-game losing streak. They take on Michigan State. Some of you will see Danny Farmer of UCLA going up against USC. This one, a battle of pride in Los Angeles. Both teams struggling, as you know, this year. Brett, that's up next.
All right, John. Certainly here in Ann Arbor, we're going to go to our favorite watering hole, which might be the suite Bob Goodrich is renting. And we're 2-1 on. We got Florida State over there. Let us watch the competition. And we'll have Michigan State against Penn State, and we'll just love the afternoon.
Once.
Second down. Here's the hand to Thomas. And there's another penalty flag.
Not great body language in that Ohio State sideline. Looks like Ohio State was offside again. A frustrated team losing their focus in the second half. You can see this is a talented team. Not as talented as last year, but a team that's making mistakes that are costing them football games.
Well, let's name the Chevrolet most valuable players of this game. The two hard-working running backs today, Michael Wiley and Anthony Thomas. In a recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Beginning this year, Chevrolet will also donate $1,000 to 2 high schools. Yeah, well, we've got a moment. I want to pass along congratulations to Gay Mason, a member of our team who gave birth to a baby boy on Thursday night, Jackson Scott, down in Columbia, Missouri. Gay, congratulations to you and Jackson Scott and the hubby, and hurry back, we miss you. Second down now. Thomas pounds the clock down a few more seconds as he goes straight ahead. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Howard Katz. The executive producer of college football, John Filippelli. The coordinating producer of college football and producer of the game today, as usual, outstanding job, Bob Goodrich, directed by Drew Esikoff. Our technical director, Doug Schmidt. Associate producer, Mitch Green. Associate director, Brian Gordon. Production manager, Scott Silverman. The technical operations manager, Jim Licata. Assistants to the producer, the Z-Man and the X-Man. Our stats man, Roger Riley, up here, and our spotter, Brian Movelson. Computer stats, Craig Rothberg. College Football Today, produced by Charles Copland, directed by Calvin Haywood, and our New York remote coordinator, Vince D'Addario. Thanks to the Ohio State SID, Gary Emig, and the Michigan SID, Big Jim Schneider, for all the help that we got this week from those 2 schools. And
take a rest.
Gary, I hope you
take
enjoy.
A rest. You know, I couldn't agree with you more about the turning point for Michigan. The 2-quarterback non-system is like I want to call it. I think Tom Brady has established his leadership, and Michigan, if anybody out there, if you're a coach and thinking about a 2-quarterback system, turn on that Michigan-Penn State tape and watch that game. I think you'll stick with one guy. I've been saying all year. I can say it. I'm not a second guesser.
No, you have been saying it. Third down and 1. Final 53 ticks of the clock. Straight ahead.
Tom Brady kept the ball.
So the Michigan first down. The Buckeyes out of timeouts. They can't stop the clock. Michael Wiley gave it his all. John Cooper and the Buckeyes need to go back and regroup.
Brent, let's give it a little bit to the Ohio State Buckeyes. People saying they quit, weren't playing hard. They played hard today. There's no doubt in my mind they were going to play hard. They're just not in sync. They will come back next year and be a good football team. Tough being a quarterback, isn't it? Everybody keeps their eyes on you. You'll get better and better.
Yeah, this has been an excellent coaching job all season long, I think, by this Michigan staff. Struggling after losing to Illinois here, a tough one in Ann Arbor, and it turned out that Illinois was better than anybody thought, and Lloyd Carr and the team regrouped.
Where would Michigan be had they not lost that game? Remember, they were leading by 17 points against Illinois. They might be in the hunt for the national championship game.
So Brady up to the line of scrimmage, and the final seconds tick away for 34 seniors. The final time that they will suit up for a Michigan-Ohio State game. And the Wolverines advance to either the Orange or the Fiesta Bowls as coaches Cooper and Carr meet in midfield. Michigan 24, Ohio State 17. Stay tuned for more college football on ABC. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. For Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brett Musburger, sending you now to New York and John Saunders. John?